Chapter 541. Thank you, my lord, for saving our lives. After the Blood River Squad and How Ransec's people were driven away, Chengdu, Luyu, Ying-un, and Ziying, who had returned, bowed and thanked Sing Hui respectfully. My lord, these are my Dao-carrying items. Please accept them. After Ying bowed, he quickly handed over all the Dao-carrying items that he had collected over the years. These Dao-carrying items were originally collected by Chengdu and the others to contribute to the Sky Sword Alliance, so that the Sky Sword Alliance could think of a way to invite an Almighty from the Chaos Shrine to help the Sky Sword Alliance resolve their current crisis. Now that Ingen had given these Dao-carrying items to Sing Hui, Chengdu and the others did not dare to say anything. As the leader, Chengdu's heart was moved. After Sing Hui kept the Dao-carrying items, he asked respectfully, My lord, I wonder if our Sky Sword Alliance can have the honor of asking you to save our Sky Sword Alliance? Our Sky Sword Alliance is currently facing a crisis from the Hunyuan sect and is in a difficult situation under the siege of the Hunyuan sect and the Blood River Squad. If my lord can lend us a helping hand at this time, our Sky Sword Alliance will be extremely grateful. We will offer all the Dao-carrying items we have collected over the years to you as a thank you gift. Oh, over 100 Dao-carrying items? Sing Hui's eyes lit up slightly. The reason why he did not go to the Hunyuan sect immediately after arriving on the Cloud Sea mainland was because he was dissatisfied with the Hunyuan sect's way of reducing the price halfway. Therefore, he did not report to the Hunyuan sect after arriving here. Instead, he went straight to the sword-shaking mountain where the Sky Sword Alliance was located. He wanted to see if the Sky Sword Alliance could offer any price. It seemed that helping the Sky Sword Alliance resolve their crisis was much better than joining the Hunyuan sect. How many Dao-carrying items can the Sky Sword Alliance offer? I can assure you that the Sky Sword Alliance will be able to offer no less than 120 Dao vessels. Chengdu understood that if their Heavenly Sword Alliance wanted to survive the joint attack of the Righteous Faction and the Blood River Squadron, their only hope was to follow this Almighty. Naturally, they did not dare to cheat on the price. Instead, they simply quoted the highest price that their Heavenly Sword Alliance could afford. Very good, 120 Daoist rhymes item. Remember what you said, I agree. Sing Hui nodded slightly. Thank you, my lord. Chengdu bowed respectfully. Lu Yu, who was standing to the side, looked at Sing Hui with some apprehension. She secretly transmitted her voice to Captain Cheng. Captain, isn't there an unspoken rule in the divine wilderness? Were powerful beings who were not born locally not allowed to intervene in matters outside the heaven wasteland domain? This almighty being could say that the warriors of Blood River had offended him when he defeated them. But isn't he afraid that Hunyuan sect would spread the news to those large-scale chaos organizations? Isn't he afraid that Hunyuan sect would spread the news to those top-tier chaos organizations? Isn't he afraid that Hunyuan sect would spread the news to those large-scale chaos organizations? A mighty figure is willing to risk his life for over 100 Daoist rhymes? Don't meddle in other people's business. Currently, this Almighty is our Sky Sword Alliance's only hope. Once he leaves, our entire Sky Sword Alliance will be in danger of being annihilated. Hence, we should first stabilize this Almighty and let him destroy the Hunyuan sect for us. As for the rest, that's something that this Almighty needs to consider. There's no need for us to worry about it. Chengdu replied telepathically with a hint of warning in his eyes. Lu Yu thought of the current situation that the Sky Sword Alliance was facing and immediately nodded. She did not dare to say anything else. Everything was to think of a way to help the Sky Sword Alliance get through the current crisis. Lu Yu and Chengdu thought that their telepathic messages were secretive. However, Sing Hui was a cultivator who had perfected his sword intent and was naturally very sensitive to these essential chi vibrations. Even though the sword principle that he had switched to cultivating was far from being comparable to that of a true Golden Core expert, he was still able to sense most of it. He did not express anything about this. He and the Sky Sword Alliance only had a purely transactional relationship. He helped the Sky Sword Alliance solve their problems, and the Sky Sword Alliance would give him sufficient Taoist treasures as a reward. There was nothing wrong with that. Moreover, there was no so-called good or evil between the Sky Sword Alliance and Hao Ran's sect. The two sects were only fighting for the position of the overlord of the Cloud Sea continent. They must have harmed many innocent people on their path of growth. The general trend of the entire world was like this, so he did not feel any guilt. However, the chaos organizations that the two of them had mentioned were indeed a problem. There is only one way for an almighty to intervene in the matters of a continent under his jurisdiction. That was to send down an avatar. As long as it was an avatar, it did not matter if it was at the Golden Core realm or even an avatar that carried a divine power seed. However, if it was their true body that came, once it was confirmed, any almighty would have the right to kill him. Even the chaos organizations behind him would not be able to protect him. This was an unspoken rule that had never been messed up in the divine wilderness. Everyone had to abide by it. Otherwise, the many continents in the divine wilderness would have long been divided up by countless factions in the divine wilderness. How could there be any continents like the eastern wilderness, Cloud Sea, Heavy Light, and other continents that maintained a certain degree of autonomy? Almighty cannot send their true bodies, but I am only at the Golden Core realm now, traveling between continents and accepting many offensive missions to earn a large amount of Taoist rhymes is my current greatest advantage. Even if an ordinary top almighty sends down an avatar at the Golden Core realm, it is possible for it to be killed by a swarm of local cultivators. Just like the avatar of the Black Heaven Taoist Lord, although it could be said to be able to sweep away Golden Core realm cultivators, if the number of Golden Core realm experts reached the double digits, they could still kill his Golden Core realm avatar. As for me, I don't have to worry about this problem at all. Xinghui had a faint smile on his face as he followed Chengdu and the others toward the Sword Shake Mountain. Before they reached the Sword Shake Mountain, more than 10 sword lights flew over from the direction of the Sword Shake Mountain. Obviously, the Sky Sword Alliance was furious that the people from the Blood River Battle Team and the Hao Ran sect had ambushed their members at the entrance of the Sky Sword Alliance. These people were probably cultivators who had joined forces to provide support after sensing the fluctuations of the battle. Elder Qian Shan, Elder Si Xiang. Cheng Du hurriedly stepped forward and shouted when he saw the two people leading the group of more than 10 people. Vice Alliance leader Jian Xian's eldest disciple, Chengdu. Elder Qian Shan, who was leading the group, paused when he heard Chengdu shout. He sized him up for a moment before asking, "Not long ago, there was an intense battle outside the Sword Shake Mountain. Was it you guys?" "Yes, we were attacked by a vice captain of the Blood River Battle Team, Yuan Xiao, and an elder of the Hao Ran sect, Meng Dongfang." Yuan Xiao and Meng Dongfang. Si Xiang, who followed closely behind, couldn't help but exclaim, "Those two are experts at the third level of the Saint stage, never-ending stage. How did you guys escape?" "It's all thanks to Lord Xinghui." Chengdu hurriedly turned around and lured Xinghui out. Qian Shan and Si Xiang immediately sensed the aura of a Golden Core stage expert from Xinghui's body. This aura made them feel a little strange. In their opinion, Xinghui's energy was so weak that it couldn't even compare to a never-ending stage expert. No, it was so weak that it couldn't even compare to a true energy stage expert. Even the aura of the Golden Core stage in his body was abnormal. However, considering that Xinghui was able to defeat Yuan Xiao and Meng Dongfang, who were both never-ending stage experts, it was likely that he was a Golden Core stage expert. The reason why his aura was so strange was probably because he had used some special concealment technique. The two of them hurriedly thanked Xinghui. "Thank you for your help, Mr. Xinghui. Our Sky Sword Alliance is eternally grateful." "There's no need for that. They used a Tao-carrying item to invite me to help. Naturally, I won't stand by and do nothing." Xinghui waved his hand. "Lord Qing Su has already accepted our invitation. He's willing to help our Sky Sword Alliance in the battle between our Sky Sword Alliance and the Hao Ran sect." Chengdu hurriedly said. Qian Shan and the fourth minister, who were already rather troubled by the Heavenly Sword Alliance's disadvantage, were immediately overjoyed. Even though Ching Su was only a Golden Core expert, his participation would allow the Heavenly Sword Alliance to last a little longer against the Howran sect. It would be best if they could last until the Blood River fleet lost their patience and left. Good. Mr. Tsing Hui has come at the right time. We'll bring Mr. Tsing Hui to the Alliance and request to see the Alliance leader. Elder Qian Shan said happily. Under their lead, the group of people quickly arrived at the Sky Sword Alliance. The sword-shaking mountain where the Sky Sword Alliance was located at the core of the eastern part of the Cloud Sea mainland. There were 3 prosperous countries around it, and each country had countless citizens. The talented people among these citizens were constantly sent to the Sky Sword Alliance to strengthen the Sky Sword Alliance. That was how the Sky Sword Alliance became what it was today. Of course, the Heavenly Sword Alliance was not a whole. Instead, it was an alliance formed under the pressure of the profound underworld sect and the righteous sect. Originally, the alliance did not have much cohesion. Everyone had only banded together to protect their own sect's legacies during the battle for supremacy between the profound underworld sect and the righteous sect. However, with the emergence of the Heavenly Sword Alliance's Alliance Master, Yang Wendao, and the assistance of the Vice Alliance Master, Zhou Jianxian, the originally rather loose Heavenly Sword Alliance immediately became a whole. Even though the Sky Sword Alliance still had a board of patriarchs, and each of the patriarchs was equivalent to a representative figure of the Sky Sword Alliance's member sects back then. As time passed, these patriarchs gradually discovered that the Sky Sword Alliance that everyone had joined together to form was becoming stronger and stronger, faintly surpassing the strength of the profound underworld sect and Howran sect. The mentality of these patriarchs instantly changed. They gradually put aside the benefits of their sects and thought of becoming the overlord of the Cloud Sea continent. They officially allowed the colossal Sky Sword Alliance to compete with the profound underworld sect and Howran sect for the Cloud Sea continent. Unfortunately, this thought was shattered when the Howran sect gave birth to the 3rd Gold Core Realm expert a year ago. In addition, the Howran sect had received the support of the Blood River troop not long ago. Its power and influence had reached its peak, and they were directly targeting the Sky Sword Alliance. If it wasn't for the profound underworld sect pulling the Howran sect back, the Sky Sword Alliance would have been completely annihilated. Now, the Sky Sword Alliance was thinking about how to protect the Sky Sword Alliance as soon as possible and prevent it from being annihilated by the Howran sect. Elder Qian Shan had a distinguished status. When he passed the news to the Sky Sword Alliance, Tsing Hui and the others arrived at the Sky Sword Alliance. The Alliance Master of the Sky Sword Alliance, Yang Wendao, was already waiting there with a group of trusted subordinates. Haha, is this Lord Tsing Hui? Thank you, Lord Tsing Hui, for lending a helping hand to the Sky Sword Alliance during our time of crisis. The entire Sky Sword Alliance is eternally grateful. Yang Wendao laughed enthusiastically. It doesn't matter whether you're grateful or not. However, you just have to remember to pay me enough Dao-carrying items when the time comes. This city governor has promised me 120 Dao-carrying auras. There shouldn't be a problem for the Sky Sword Alliance to take out 120 Dao-carrying auras, right? Tsing Hui said bluntly. 120 Dao-carrying auras? Upon hearing Tsing Hui's offer, the Alliance Master of the Sky Sword Alliance, Yang Wendao, and the 2 great elders, Qian Shan and Si Xiang, who had come with him, had their smiles stiffened. Chapter 542. Is there a problem? Tsing Hui looked at Yang Wan and asked with a slight frown. At this moment, Cheng Do understood where the problem was and quickly transmitted a message. Alliance leader, please agree to it as soon as possible. Please don't be hateful towards Master Tsing Hui. It's a great blessing that Master Tsing Hui is willing to help us fight against the Howran sect. We won't get another chance like this if we miss this opportunity. Cheng Do, are you mistaken? How could you offer 120 Taoist rhymes for a Golden Core Realm expert? Even the Howran sect only offered a price of 100 Taoist rhymes for the Blood River squad. Could he be more powerful than the entire Blood River squad by himself? Someone from the Blood River squad even hinted to us that if we could offer 200 Taoist rhymes, he wouldn't help either of us. If we could offer a higher price, he would even help us fight against the Hao Ran sect. Alliance leader, if he's just a golden core realm expert, he wouldn't be worth 120 Taoist rhymes. However, Master Tsinghui isn't just a golden core realm cultivator. He's an almighty who has derived a divine power. Almighty. Yang Wenwen was slightly stunned. Then, he couldn't help but lose his composure and shouted, "What did you say? Almighty?" Master Tsinghui is an almighty. When he lost his composure and shouted, everyone's gaze fell on him. Yang Wenwen also realized that he had lost his composure and quickly apologized to the people around him. "I'm sorry, everyone." At the same time, he looked at Tsinghui as if he wanted to get an answer from Tsinghui himself. "Almighty?" Tsinghui chuckled and said, "I won't admit that. However, if you can offer me 120 Taoist rhymes, I can promise to help you deal with the 7 golden core realm cultivators from the Hao Ran sect and the Blood River squad." Alliance leader, Master Tsinghui is a real almighty. Chengdu, who was at the side, hurriedly added, "I've always been by Master's side, so I can still clearly differentiate between golden core realm experts and almighty beings." Alliance leader, Lord Tsinghui is indeed a true almighty. I saw with my own eyes how Lord Tsinghui used his divine powers. Before the mighty sword Qi and sword light descended, he had already defeated the 2 never-ending realm experts and 7 transcendent realm experts of the Blood River Battle Squad and the Hao Ran sect. 3 of the transcendent realm experts couldn't even withstand the aftershock of Lord Tsinghui's divine powers. They were instantly incinerated into ashes by the aftershock of the divine powers. This kind of power is many times stronger than that of a golden core realm expert. Ying En and the others, who came with Chengdu, also said solemnly. Yang Wendao, who was originally in disbelief, was shaken after hearing Ying En, Chengdu, and the others' affirmation. In addition, Tsinghui's request was to deal with the 7 golden core realm experts from the Hao Ran sect and the Blood River Battle Squad. As long as he could really deal with the 7 golden core realm experts, the remaining never-ending realm and the transcendent realm elders and ordinary members would definitely be without a leader. Soon, they would be defeated by the Sky Sword Alliance and the profound underworld sect in one fell swoop. At that time, the crisis of the Sky Sword Alliance would be resolved, and the situation of the Cloud Sea continent would change drastically. It would become the battlefield between the Sky Sword Alliance and the Chosen One. Thinking of this, Yang Wendao said without hesitation, "All right, I agree. Lord Tsinghui, if you can really deal with the 7 golden core realm experts from the Hao Ran sect and the Blood River Battle Squad, our Sky Sword Alliance will offer 120 Taoist rhymes to you with both hands." Very good. You have been fighting with the Hao Ran sect for more than half a month. Even if you don't know the whereabouts of all their higher-ups, you should still be very clear about the location of those golden core realm experts. Give me their location, and I will go deal with them one by one. You should keep an eye on the pawns you have placed in the Hao Ran sect. You should be able to get the news very soon. After Tsinghui finished speaking, he paused for a moment. While I am dealing with the golden core realm cultivators from the Hao Ran sect and the Blood River Battle Squad, you should also prepare the 120 Taoist rhymes. I don't want your Sky Sword Alliance to find all kinds of excuses to delay after I have dealt with the problem. Yang Wendao quickly bowed respectfully and said, "Please rest assured, Lord Tsinghui, we will prepare the Taoist rhymes immediately. Moreover, the spy we have placed in the Hao Ran sect is not only a son of chaos, but he also has a high position in the Hao Ran sect. Once you have dealt with the golden core realm experts from the Hao Ran sect and the Blood River Battle Squad, he will definitely receive the news immediately and pass it to us." "That's good. Give me the information and I will set off now." "Yes." Yang Wendao waved his hand to a true energy boundary man behind him. The man quickly handed over a jade talisman to him, who then passed it to Tsinghui. "My lord, please take a look." This is where the 7 Golden Core Realm experts from the Hunyuan sect and the Blood River Battle Squad are. Tsing Hui scanned it with his consciousness. One of the Golden Core Realm's supreme elders from the Hunyuan sect was guarding the sect. One was in the direction of the Stygian sect, and the last one was not far from the Sky Sword Alliance. It was in a city about 8,000 kilometers away from the Sword Shake Mountain. Tsing Hui carefully estimated that he should have used the information provided by the Golden Core Realm expert to descend to the Cloud Sea mainland. However, the method he used to descend was somewhat special and avoided the eyes and ears of the Golden Core Realm expert. As a result, they were probably guessing whether he had actually descended or not. Doesn't the Blood River Battle Squad have 3 Golden Core Realm experts? Why is there only one marked here? My lord, 2 of the 3 Golden Core Realm experts from the Blood River Battle Squad have been lurking in the dark, killing the important higher-ups of the Sky Sword Alliance and the Stygian sect. We don't know where they are hiding. Please forgive us, my lord, Yang Wendao said with a bitter expression. Still hiding? Forget it. I'll go and deal with the Golden Core Realm cultivator from the Blood River Battle Squad first. After I capture him and interrogate him, I'll naturally be able to find out where the other 2 Golden Core Realm experts are. After Tsing Hui finished speaking, he stood up. My lord, are you going directly? Don't you need to rest? There's no need. It's only 8,000 kilometers. Tsing Hui said lightly. With the speed of a sky splitter, 8,000 kilometers was less than an hour for him. Immediately, he broke through the sky and disappeared from Yang Wendao's sight in the blink of an eye. Almighty? Is it really an almighty? Could the alliance leader be a liar? After Tsing Hui left, the 2 elders, Qian Shan and Si Xiang, who were extremely shocked, stepped forward and asked doubtfully, Liar? It can't be. I didn't give him any promise, nor did I give him any Dao-carrying item as a deposit. If he really is a liar, he should have asked us to pay the Dao-carrying item first. Yang Wendao was also somewhat puzzled. In fact, he also had some doubts about the identity of Tsing Hui, but Tsing Hui did not ask for the Dao-carrying item, and he also did not reveal his doubts. He just wanted to give it a try. But if he really is an almighty, why would he dare to intervene in the affairs of our Cloud Sea continent? I can feel that he is not in the form of an avatar, but his real body. Is he not afraid that the Blood River Battle Squad or the Hunyuan sect will report this matter and cause many almighty to attack him? Yang Wendao shook his head. We don't know what he is thinking. He probably feels that the Cloud Sea continent is too far away from the Heaven Wasteland domain. As long as he is quick and deals with the matter properly, he will immediately leave the Cloud Sea continent, and no one will come from so far away to meddle in other people's business. Well, let's not talk about this anymore. Everything will wait until he returns from the Hunyuan sect, whether he is a liar or not. And what he is thinking, we will wait until he kills the Golden Core stage experts of the Hunyuan sect and the Blood River Battle Squad. While Yang Wendao, Qian Shan, the 4 ministers, Chengdu, and the others were discussing whether Tsing Hui was an almighty, Yuan Shao of the Blood River Battle Squad, Meng Dongfang of the Hunyuan sect, and the others returned to the Crystal Lake 800 kilometers away from the sword-shaking mountain with gloomy faces. The Crystal Lake was rich in a type of red sandalwood crystal, which was unbelievably miraculous in helping cultivators cleanse the pill poison in their bodies. It was an important resource point of the Sky Sword Alliance. However, this resource point was now occupied by the Hunyuan sect. Furthermore, the Hunyuan sect had also sent their Golden Core Stage Grand Elder Kong Songbai and dozens of True Energy Stage, Transformative Stage, and Never-Ending Stage experts to guard this place. They could be considered to have an impressive reputation. Unless the Sky Sword Alliance turned out in full force, they would not be able to remove this stronghold of the Hunyuan sect. Once the Sky Sword Alliance turned out in full force, it would cause a huge commotion. The pawns hidden in the Sky Sword Alliance would definitely be alerted. At that time, it would be up to them to choose whether to temporarily retreat or simply gather nearby reinforcements to set up a trap and wipe out the Sky Sword Alliance in one fell swoop. Elder Kong, Yuan Shao, Meng Dongfang, and the others hurriedly arrived at the Crystal Lake encampment and made a beeline for Kong Songbai. However, When they arrived at Kong Songbai's study, they discovered two guests inside. These two guests were none other than the Blood River Battle Team's vice captain, Chi Bai, and the never-ending realm expert, Wang Luo. Upon seeing these two, Yuan Shao, whose eyes were originally filled with depression, calmed down slightly. Hurriedly, he said, "Captain, Elder Kong, something bad has happened." "What happened?" Kong Songbai was confused. Meanwhile, Chi Bai possessed extraordinary eyesight. He immediately noticed that something was wrong with Yuan Zhao's mental state. Immediately, he asked in a deep voice, "Yuan Shao, what's wrong with your aura? I can feel that your vitality is much weaker than before. My Tier 3 recovery ability has gone down the drain. It's only natural that my vitality has decreased," Yuan Shao said. Yuan Shao said in a deep voice, "Captain, you have to make a decision for us." "What? My Tier 3 recovery ability is gone? What's going on? My chaotic tier has been stripped away. How is this possible? The Sky Sword Alliance? They actually dared to target your chaotic tier. They must have a death wish. Wait, that's not right. No matter how powerful the Sky Sword Alliance is, even if two Golden Core Realm experts were to join forces and defeat you, you would still have a chance to escape. Why would they capture you alive and force you to hand over the Chaos Formula? It's not the Sky Sword Alliance. It's an expert who was passing by." At this point, a cold, killing intent flashed in Yuan Zhao's eyes. "If I'm not wrong, this expert who passed by is an almighty who has cultivated a divine ability." The moment Yuan Shao said that, Kong Songbai and Chi Bai turned pale with fright. An almighty? Could be a Golden Core Realm avatar? "Yuan Shao, why you not joking?" "Captain, Elder Kong, how could I joke about something like this? I can tell the difference between an avatar and the real body. That almighty definitely came with his real body. This is absolutely true. Moreover, I suspect that this almighty has already interfered with the battle between the Howran sect and the Sky Sword Alliance." Chi Bai gasped. "How is this possible? Does he not want to live anymore? An almighty actually interfered with the battle between the local forces overlords with his real body? Isn't he afraid that his actions will cause the various chaos organizations to gang up on him? Captain, if you don't believe me, you can send someone to investigate personally. I believe that the Sky Sword Alliance will spread the news very soon." As Yuan Shao spoke, his gaze landed on Kong Songbai, the Golden Core Realm expert. If this almighty really intends to help the Sky Sword Alliance, the Howran sect will be doomed. However, didn't you pledge allegiance to a top chaos organization? At this time, you can only ask them to send an almighty to uphold justice. At the same time, that almighty can also take the opportunity to help you uproot the Sky Sword Alliance and the Stygian sect. The Sky Sword Alliance broke the rules first. Your Howran sect has the right to do so. If this spreads, the other chaos organizations won't pursue the matter. Third update. Chapter 543. A top chaos organization. We didn't rely on a top chaos organization, but we got to know a powerful Void Walker. Kong Songbai's eyes were gloomy. We're just a Void Walker, but that Void Walker belongs to a very powerful force with an extraordinary background. I wonder if he's willing to help us. Send a message immediately. We, the Blood River Battle Team, will definitely not help your Howran sect fight against an almighty. That would be suicide. Almighties can't interfere with the fights between local forces, but we, the Blood River Battle Team, are not from the Cloud Sea mainland. He doesn't dare to attack your Howran sect, but no one can say no to us, who are also outsiders from the Cloud Sea mainland. Chi Bai's words were conclusive, and his tone was unquestionable. Did you see clearly? Is that really an almighty? I want you to be 100% sure. Kong Songbai's gaze landed on Meng Dongfang, his eyes full of sternness. Although Meng Dongfang wanted to admit it, he could faintly feel that the almighty's aura was only at the Golden Core realm, and it was even at the level of a broken Golden Core. He couldn't quite confirm it, especially the attack that the Almighty had unleashed seemed to have originated from the peerless divine sword in his hand for a moment. He couldn't help but turn his gaze back to Yuan Shao. Mr. Yuan Shao, let's think carefully. Is that person really an almighty? If he's really an almighty, wouldn't he know the consequences of coming to the Cloud Sea mainland with his real body? In order to eliminate this hidden danger, he should completely eliminate us. Why? Why would he let us leave alive? Furthermore, don't you think that the reason why he was able to unleash such a shocking attack was completely because of the divine sword in his hand? Could he be a golden core realm expert with a level 11 or even level 12 peerless divine weapon? Meng Dongfang's words caused Yuan Zhao's expression to change slightly, but he quickly said in a deep voice, "Impossible. Even if a golden core realm expert wields a level 12 divine weapon, he can't unleash such an earth-shattering attack. The power of that attack is definitely at the level of a divine ability. If a level 12 divine weapon can't do it, what about the level 13 divine weapon used by the Supreme Giants?" Kong Songbai asked. Level 13 divine weapon. Yuan Shao didn't say anything. He had never truly witnessed the might of a level 13 divine weapon, let alone a level 13 divine weapon. He hadn't even seen a level 12 divine weapon. It should be said that in the present world, even in the core of a world like Heaven Wasteland, the highest divine weapon that could be forged was a 12th order. As for weapons above the 12th order, without exception, they all originated from the excavated ancient caves. Even the divine weapons above the 12th order used by the supreme giants of the Saint Realm were no exception. The ancient caves originated from tens of thousands of years ago, and after tens of thousands of years, the spirituality and sharpness of divine weapons of the 13th order, 14th order, and even higher order had gradually dissipated. It was completely unknown how much power they could retain. Buzz. At this moment, Kong Songbai's communication jade amulet vibrated slightly. He glanced at it with a part of his mind, and his face changed. It's here. The mysterious expert who called himself Xing Hui had arrived. He went to the Sky Sword Alliance and was hired by the Sky Sword Alliance for 120 Taoist rhymes. Now, he's coming straight for our Crystal Lake. 120 Taoist rhymes. The Sky Sword Alliance actually has such a strong foundation. An almighty would risk his real body being killed by other chaotic organizations for 120 Taoist rhymes? Kong Songbai's words caused everyone to exclaim in surprise. Elder Kong, you'd better make a decision as soon as possible. Are you going to ask the almighty behind you to fight against this mysterious expert called Xing Hui, or are you going to retreat directly? Even if the mysterious expert isn't an almighty, he has a suspected 13th order divine weapon, which is still not something we can fight against. With the advantage of the 13th order divine weapon, he's invincible in the Golden Core realm, Chibai said sternly. Obviously, the Blood River team couldn't stay here and defend with the Hao Ran faction. Wait a minute, Your Excellency Chibai, please don't be impatient. Originally, I had some doubts about asking the Almighty behind me, but now, with the 13th Order Divine Weapon, it's no longer a problem. A 13th Order Divine Weapon. Even in Heaven Wasteland, it can be sold for hundreds of Taoist rhymes. I believe the Almighty will definitely be tempted to come and uphold justice. Then what are you waiting for? I'll contact the Lord Voidwalker right now. As Kong Songbai said this, he had already separated a part of his spirit and projected it into the Chaos Divine Palace. In less than 15 minutes, Kong Songbai opened his eyes again, and a look of surprise flashed across his eyes. The Lord Voidwalker has agreed, and there happens to be an almighty with an extraordinary background and cultivation as a guest in his mansion. He's very curious about the 13th Order Divine Weapon. He'll come with the Lord Voidwalker, and, if necessary, he'll choose to do it himself. Speaking of this, he paused slightly. I've cultivated a secret method called the Soul Pupil Technique, which has a miraculous effect on seeing through the secret method of others hiding their cultivation. I'll personally use the Soul Pupil Technique to check the background of the man named Xing Hui. If he's an almighty, we'll accept it. We can only pin our hopes on the Almighty to uphold justice for us in the future. But if he's just a practitioner of the Gold Core realm who flaunts his prowess with the help of a 13th Order Divine Weapon, it'll be easy. I believe both the powerful Lord Voidwalker and the Almighty who happens to be a guest in the Lord Voidwalker's mansion will teach him how to behave. When Shibai heard that Kong Songbai could really ask the Voidwalker and the Almighty in his mansion to come, a smile appeared on his face. One had to know that the Voidwalker had to be at least at the chaotic realm of level 25 and above. Usually, they were also almighty existences. Even if the Voidwalker and the Almighty came for the 13th Order Divine weapon in the other party's hand, it was already considered extremely impressive. Then we'll wait here for Elder Kong's good news. Elder Kong, please don't worry. As long as your Hao Ransek can solve this variable for us, our Blood River troop will definitely assist you to destroy the Sky Sword Alliance and let your Hao Ransek become the only overlord of the Cloud Sea mainland. Thank you, Captain Shibai. I'll set off now, Kong Songbai said as he walked out of the hall. He then leaped up and floated above the crystal lake, looking as though he was waiting for Tsing Hui's arrival. As for Chi Bai, Yuan Shao, and the rest, they hid in the courtyard beside the crystal lake. If something went wrong, they would retreat immediately to preserve the combat strength of the Blood River troop. Rumble. How fast was Tsing Hui's imperial sword flight speed? Accompanied by a violent sonic boom, a white rainbow carrying a sword light that tore through the sky appeared above the crystal lake in an instant. The sonic boom from far to near shook Kong Songbai, who was in the void, as well as the Blood River battle team and the others below, who were trembling with fear. This speed, Kong Songbai's eyes suddenly shrank. Even though he was fearful of the monstrous aura coming from the person in front of him, when his gaze landed on the flying sword beneath his feet, his eyes suddenly shot out a dazzling radiance. 11th Order Flying Sword? No, if he isn't an almighty, this might not be only at the 11th Order. The aura of the Golden Core Realm. There's still the aura of the Golden Core Realm on his body. It's not a divine ability. He's not a divine ability almighty. He's just a Golden Core Realm. A Golden Core Realm who was lucky enough to obtain an ancient cave and excavate many divine weapons. For a Golden Core Realm to have such speed, the flying sword beneath his feet must have reached the 12th Order. Regardless of whether he has a 13th Order divine weapon or not, just the value of the 12th Order flying sword is enough for the Voidwalker and his Almighty to personally take action. Thinking of this, Kong Songbai did not hesitate to send this information to the Chaos Shrine. It wasn't that he didn't think of monopolizing the 12th Order flying sword, but after considering the supreme divine power of a 13th Order divine weapon, he ultimately suppressed his greed. Even if it was an ordinary Golden Elixir Realm expert, if he stepped on a 12th grade flying sword and wielded a 13th grade divine weapon, he would be able to transform into an invincible killing machine. Unless they had dozens of Golden Elixir Realm experts on their side. Otherwise, with just the current strength of the Hao Ran sect, even if the Blood River battle team attacked together, only death would await them. After sending the message to the mysterious Voidwalker, Kong Songbai also bowed to Tsing Hui from afar. Hao Ran Sect Supreme Elder, Kong Songbai, greets Mr. Our Sky Sword Alliance is willing to offer the same price for the Dao carrying item. We only hope that Mr. can stay out of this matter and not help either side. We hope that Mr. can agree. Oh, Tsing Hui, who was riding on his flying sword, paused slightly. The Sky Sword Alliance gave me 120 Taoist rhymes. Can your Hao Ran sect give me 120 Taoist rhymes? As far as I know, in order to hire the Blood River troop, you have already spent most of the Taoist rhymes. It was obvious that the Hao Ran sect could not afford 120 Taoist rhymes. However, Kong Songbai's current goal was to stall Tsing Hui so that the Voidwalker and the Almighty who came along with him could arrive as soon as possible. Without any change in his expression, he said, "The foundation of our Hao Ran sect is far superior to that of the Sky Sword Alliance, which has only been established for less than 100 years. The Sky Sword Alliance can only afford 120 Taoist rhymes, even if they go bankrupt. However, even if our Hao Ran sect gave 100 Taoist rhymes to the Blood River troop in advance, we can still gather 120 Taoist rhymes. We just need some time, mister." How long? One day. We only need one day to gather all the Taoist rhymes. Kong Songbai gritted his teeth and said, in order to prevent Tsing Hui from attacking him directly after being dissatisfied, he did not dare to say too long. One day, Tsing Hui muttered to himself as if he was considering. However, at this moment, a mighty wave of primordial qi suddenly condensed from a void. In the blink of an eye, it formed a middle-aged man who looked to be in his 40s. Seeing the man's figure appear, Kong Songbai was overjoyed. He quickly bowed and said, "Welcome, Underworld Walker." "Oh, an incarnation?" Tsing Hui looked at the incarnation of the middle-aged man in front of him. He could feel a trace of the aura of an almighty on him. It was obvious that this middle-aged man's original body had reached the realm of an almighty. However, the incarnation of an almighty could only reach the golden elixir realm at most. Even if he had the rank 10 personal space like Tsing Hui and brought his original body here, because he had just used the incarnation technique, his original body must be in a weakened state. Unless he had the backtracking technique to restore his original body to its peak state, he would be courting death. You didn't lie to us. It really is a rank 12 flying sword. A golden elixir realm cultivator actually swaggered around with a rank 12 flying sword. You really don't know how to spell the word death. Ah, not bad, not bad. This trip was not made in vain. The Void Walker, called Underworld Walker's gaze immediately landed on the Sky Splitter at Tsing Hui's feet. His eyes instantly lit up, and then he waved his hand. A young man in luxurious clothes who was filled with an arrogant aura strode out from his personal space. Chapter 544. Holy Master Xianbing. As the young man appeared, the Void Walker, Feng Ming, who was also an almighty, bowed slightly to him. In terms of essence, Feng Ming's aura was stronger than the young man in front of him. This showed how noble the young man was. Golden Core Realm. This is indeed the aura of a Golden Core Realm. Moreover, it feels like a cracked Golden Core. The young man, Holy Master Xianbing, looked at Tsing Hui as soon as he arrived. When he saw that Tsing Hui was only at the Golden Core Realm, his eyes were filled with disappointment and loneliness. Ever since I became an almighty, I have fought with the 4 almighties in the sect 10 times and 110 times. However, I have never really killed an almighty. My father did not allow me to go out to hunt for almighties who are against the way of heaven. He ordered me to study superpowers and comprehend the superpowers first. However, without a record of killing an almighty, how can I convince everyone when I lead the Milky Way sect in the future? I thought I would be able to kill an almighty and add to my achievements. However, I did not expect him to only be a Golden Core Realm cultivator. This is so disappointing. Is it so difficult for me to kill an almighty to show off my superpowers? The young man, Xianbing's voice echoed in the void. His voice was melodious, and there was an indescribable loneliness in his tone. Holy Master Xianbing, you have a noble status. You are the person who will inherit the Milky Way sect in the future. Naturally, you can't risk your life. However, after you cultivate for a while and completely comprehend all kinds of superpowers, you'll be able to kill an almighty with the peerless godly weapon that Lord Tao Master promised to give you. Feng Ming said with a smile. Fine. Although he is only at the Golden Core Realm, he can control a level 12 flying sword. It is said that he even has a level 13 godly weapon. He must have obtained a good ancient opportunity. I only hope that he can cultivate the superpowers and secret skills that were passed down from the ancient opportunity to arouse my fighting spirit. It will be a warm-up for me to kill an almighty in the future. Xianbing said proudly. An almighty, an almighty, an almighty is here in person. Kong Songbai's eyes were filled with surprise when he heard Xianbing's words. The Void Walker, Abyss Collapse, had actually brought along an almighty. With such a powerful being around, what was there to fear about a mere Tsing Hui? He actually managed to summon a true almighty. Furthermore, it seems like this almighty's identity is rather extraordinary. Qi Bai, Yuan Shao, and the others from the Blood River battle team were also shocked. Although it was obvious that these almighty experts were here for Tsing Hui's divine weapon, the fact that the Hao Ran sect was able to invite almighty experts was a kind of ability in itself. It seemed that the Blood River battle team would have to put in more effort to assist the Hao Ran sect in destroying the Sky Sword Union and the mysterious Underworld sect. A transcendent realm expert? Tsing Hui looked at the young man in front of him who was slowly taking out an icicle that was emitting a chilling aura and integrating it into his body. His expression was a little cautious. The transcendent realm expert's aura was even stronger than the broken sword's aura. The aura that belonged to an almighty spread out in all directions without restraint, causing the vital energy around his body to become chaotic and distorted. If an ordinary person were to look at him, they would feel as though he was in another space-time. It was both real and illusory, filled with an unpredictable charm. However, the transcendent realm expert in front of him was clearly emitting a powerful aura that was filled with invasiveness and destruction. However, for some reason, the threat that he brought to Tsing Hui was even less than the broken sword. No, it was not even, it was the truth. Could it be because the golden core of my body has leveled up from peerless grade to supreme grade and my fighting power has increased? However, an almighty can never be too careful no matter how careful he is. I should take advantage of the fact that he still has a trace of contempt for me and has not started to condense his divine powers to strike with all my strength. I don't need to seriously injure him with this strike, but at least I need to gain the upper hand. Tsing Hui was very clear that he was not a real almighty. This could be seen from the fact that he was obviously at a disadvantage when fighting with the broken sword, and was even almost killed by the broken sword. Therefore, in front of this almighty whose aura was even stronger than the broken sword, he had to be 120% alert and give it his all. Otherwise, without the token of the world of battle, he would die. Rumble! The blazing sword essence suddenly burst out from his spiritual world. Surprise attack! Surprise attack! He had to use the surprise attack. Before this almighty, named Xianbing, really looked at him, he had to use all his strength to strike his strongest blow. He did not need to seriously injure him, but at least he had to establish the upper hand. Only then would he have the hope of defeating this almighty. Brr! Buzz! Tsing Hui let out a long roar. The brilliant sword light in his spiritual world burned with a blazing light under the stimulation of his will. The sword essence burst out, followed by the full explosion of the power of the golden core in the deep scarlet sword. Endless light and flame constantly collided and intersected in the deep scarlet sword, and the crazy fusion and fission produced a terrifying power that was enough to destroy the world. The sword of the glorious sun. Or it could be said that it was a brand new sword move that surpassed the sword of the glorious sun. The sunburst. The sword of the sunburst. The sword of the sunburst was a swordsmanship that Tsing Hui had not fully mastered. Moreover, because this sword needed to stimulate his own power to form fission in the deep scarlet sword, and then recombine after fission, the whole process would burst out a destructive power that was far more powerful than the sword of the glorious sun. Whether it was his golden core, his sword essence, or even his natal sword, the deep scarlet sword, it would cause great damage. If he had not cultivated his natal sword, the power that burst out from this sword in his body was bound to blow his body into ashes. This was also the reason why he did not dare to use his full strength when he practiced in front of Swordmaster Baiheng. But now, with the help of his natal sword, with the help of this supreme sword that had reached the 14th level in terms of level and firmness, the sword of the sunburst was finally released by him. It seemed to have turned into an eternal and inextinguishable blazing sun and slashed towards the mysterious ice in front of him. In an instant, endless light and heat filled the void within a radius of hundreds of kilometers. The mighty and destructive power swept across the sky, almost burning all the creatures within dozens of kilometers into ashes. In everyone's vision, it was as if a big sun had been detonated. The intense light almost blinded all the practitioners who were looking in this direction. Even Shi Bai, Kong song by, and the other Golden Core experts were unable to see anything clearly because of the supreme light that burst out from this sword. What kind of strange method is this? Damn it, break for me. Their field of vision was filled with endless white. Not only were the Golden Core realm experts affected, even Xian Bing was no exception. He roared in shock and anger, and a round mirror with a diameter of dozens of meters appeared behind him. An endless stream of icicles shot out from the mirror, like a rain of icicles. These icicles were derived from the power of the divine ability. Not only did they contain terrifying firmness and speed, but they also contained a shocking chill that could freeze the void. Unfortunately, this cold aura that had shot out was as weak as a basin of ice water that had been poured into a raging fire in front of the sword glow that was descending like a brilliant sun. It was instantly melted into nothingness. The sword glow flickered and surged forward, crushing and incinerating everything in its path. Finally, it violently slashed onto the circular mirror that was dozens of meters tall that the mysterious ice had materialized. Oh no! Xian Bing had been caught off guard by Qing Su's sudden attack, so she used her ability to counterattack in a hurry. She did not manage to truly unleash the profundity of the ability at all. However, the Void Walker, Hunyuan, was experienced. He could tell that Qing Su's attack was comparable to a great ability at the very first moment. It was so vast that it was not something regular techniques could block. He immediately bellowed out, "Retreat! Retreat! Holy Master Xian Bing, retreat quickly! Divine powers! This is a divine powers, and it is an offensive divine powers that have evolved to the extreme. It is only one step away from evolving into a great divine powers." What? Holy Master Xian Bing was stunned by Tsing Hui's sword that fell from the sky and contained a vast power. The divine powers that he had spent so much effort to condense collapsed in front of the brilliant sword light. The round mirror that was dozens of meters tall shattered with a bang. This kind of attack made him unable to make the best response for a while. Slash! Tsing Hui let out a long roar. The sword light of the Sword of the Sun didn't weaken at all. It fiercely slashed Holy Master Xian Bing's body with the power of the falling sun, instantly activating a protective armor on his body. Boom! Boom! The violent explosion, mixed with tens of thousands of sword lights, shot out in all directions at the same time. The powerful protective armor shone brilliantly, emitting a large amount of frost light. However, the light only lasted for a short while before it dimmed down. Although it finally blocked Tsing Hui's Sword of the Sun, the power contained in this sword strike still shocked Holy Master Xian Bing so much that he spat out a mouthful of blood. How is this possible? I have fought with 4 great divine powers 10 times and won 10 times. Holy Master Xian Bing stared at his collapsing divine powers with disbelief in his eyes. Retreat! Retreat! Holy Master Xian Bing, hurry up and retreat. Void Walker Collapsed Abyss looked at Holy Venerate Xian Bing, who was clearly slow to react. He was so anxious that he almost went crazy. He wished that his true body hadn't become weak, so that he could replace Holy Venerate Xian Bing and fight this terrifying expert. At least, he wasn't so weak that he couldn't even fight back in front of this great divine being. Tsing Hui, who had slashed out the Sword of the Sun in front of Holy Master Xian Bing, was also surprised. This Holy Master Xian Bing's aura. Although his aura is above the remnant sword, he seems to be a bit weak. This thought flashed across his mind. He knew how powerful a great divine being was, so he didn't dare to be distracted. The Sword of Sunlight could only defeat the Saint Master Xian Bing's magical power, but was blocked by the armor with powerful defensive power. Then, he would use the second sword. If the second strike didn't work, he would try the third strike, the fourth strike, the fifth strike, the sixth strike, slash, until the target was completely destroyed. I'm looking for recommendations, monthly votes, and subscriptions. The Black Ice Saint is a good person. She originally planned to use a Book Friends cameo, but none of them met the requirements. The requirements for cameos were all heaven-defying. If they didn't meet the requirements, they would be the best in the world. But now, they really can't defy the heavens. Chapter 545. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it now! Dongming Void Walker shouted crazily. At this point, Xianbing Holy Master could no longer fight back. Instead, she could not fight back at all, if not for the fact that Holy Woman Qingwei had given him an ancient armor of level 13. Holy Master Xianbing would have been smashed into pieces by this terrifying being. Ah! Save me! Dongming, save me! Xianbing Holy Master screamed in terror. Her heart was filled with endless fear. Even though she was wearing the ancient frost armor that her father had given her, which was strong enough to block Tsing Hui's sword radiance. The sword radiance and the terrifying impact of the sword radiance bombarded her body again and again. It burned her will. The pain of both her physical and mental body made her want to roll on the ground. Xianbing Holy Master thought that his resistance to pain was stronger than that of an ordinary person. He had even undergone similar training previously. However, the pain of his physical body could not be compared to the pain of his mental and physical body. It was not that he wanted to embarrass his father, but the pain was too much and exceeded his limit. Stop it! I asked you to stop it. Do you know who Xianbing Holy Master is? He is the son of Qingwei Holy Master, one of the 8 great Tao men of the Gate of Heaven. He is the only direct descendant of Qingwei Holy Master. If you dare to kill him, Qingwei Holy Master will not rest until you are dead. Even if you escape to the ends of the earth, no one will be able to save you. Seeing Holy Sovereign Xianbing frantically begging him for help, collapsing underworld roared furiously. At this moment, he regretted bringing Holy Sovereign Xianbing to this place. Otherwise, Holy Sovereign Xianbing would not have ended up in such a dangerous place. At the same time, he was in disbelief. He had clearly seen that Qing Su was definitely a golden core cultivator. So why was he able to unleash such a powerful strike that even the armor of frost that the Qing Wei Holy Woman had bestowed upon the Black Eyes Holy Venerable was unable to block it? The direct bloodline of Tao Master Qing Wei, one of the 8 great Tao Masters of Tian Tao. By now, Tsing Hui had made the 6th sword move, which had completely broken the armor on Holy Master Xuanbing's body. The powerful sword chi and sword essence directly hit Holy Master Xuanbing's body, severely injuring her. Her consciousness, which had no tenacity at all, was on the verge of dissipating. At this time, he vaguely understood that although Holy Master Xianbing was a powerful figure, she must not have developed the divine powers for a long time. She might not even have fully grasped the various changes of the divine powers. The reason why his aura was stronger than Broken Sword's was not because his cultivation was deeper than Broken Sword's, but because Broken Sword's understanding of the power of the divine powers had reached an extremely profound level. It was close to returning to the original state, and there was no excess power leaking out. Therefore, his aura naturally could not be compared with Holy Master Xianbing, who had just broken through to the divine powers realm. This could be seen from the fact that the threat he felt from Holy Master Xianbing was far less than Broken Sword's. Holy Master Xianbing was just a weakling in the divine powers realm. If it were not for the powerful armor, he would have been killed by Tsing Hui in 2 or 3 moves. But now it was almost time. Tao Master Qingwei, so what? Tian Dao and Tianxiong are mortal enemies. If I kill a powerful figure of Tian Dao, Tianxiong may suffer less in the future. Tsing Hui snorted. Without the protection of the armor of frost, Holy Master Xianbing was vulnerable. As Tsing Hui shot out a sword chi, Holy Master Xianbing fainted on the spot. Now is not the time to kill him. Otherwise, if Tao Master Qingwei leaves some special means on him and directly descends, the consequences will be unimaginable. But Holy Master Xianbing is simply a moving treasure trove. I can't let him go. With these thoughts in mind, Tsing Hui's eyes immediately fell on collapsing Void Walker. What are you doing? There is a Tao Master in Tian Dao who is proficient in the art of deduction. If you become an enemy of Tian Dao will never let you go. Void collapsing Void Walker roared angrily. Unfortunately, before he could finish speaking, Xing Hui flicked his hand, and a sword Qi destroyed this powerful figure's incarnation. After destroying Void collapsing Voidwalker's incarnation, Xing Hui immediately used a supreme immortal technique to reverse yin and yang. Instantly, the Qi activity within a few hundred kilometers was disrupted. Not enough. After disrupting the Qi activity, Xing Hui flew up. The sword gleam on the deep red sword exploded again. His target was Hao Ransek's Kong Songbai. Kong Songbai had been excited when he saw that void-collapsing Void Walker had invited an almighty. However, in the blink of an eye, the situation took a turn for the worse. Holy Master Xianbing, a powerful figure, was actually being beaten to the point of crying by this man who was obviously only at the divinity realm. This change in situation confused him. He almost thought that he was hallucinating. By the time he realized that the person in front of him was most likely an almighty disguised as a golden core cultivator, the battle between the two sides had already ended. Xing Hui's eyes had already landed on him. No, no! Kong Songbai screamed in horror and retreated rapidly at the critical moment. Unfortunately, in front of Xing Hui, a golden core cultivator was not worth mentioning. As the sword gleam swept past, this Hao Ransek's Grand Supreme Elder was killed on the spot. What a pity. It said that the golden core cultivators of Hao Ransek are all at a high level. I'm afraid I've lost dozens of Taoist rhymes for nothing. However, in order to prevent Tao Master Qingwei from catching up to me, it's better to kill him. This thought flashed across Xing Hui's mind. Then, he turned his sword again. This time, his target was the crystal lake that belonged to Hao Ransek. Go, go, go. Go. Run. The Blood River battle team and the others in the Crystal Lake sect knew that they were in danger when they saw that Xing Hui had captured Holy Master Xianbing alive. They immediately shot up into the sky and scattered in all directions. This level is not enough. Xing Hui took a deep breath. In the next moment, the deep scarlet sword once again erupted with a dazzling radiance. Dozens of sword gleams whistled and tore the sky apart. With unbelievable speed, they shot toward the dozens of figures that shot out from the Crystal Lake sect. Even though the furthest among them had fled more than 10 kilometers away, they still could not avoid the fate of being shot to death by the sword. After killing these core members who had fled, Xing Hui swung his sword again. The brilliant sword gleam was mixed with a destructive aura that resembled the fall of the sun. It suddenly descended on the Crystal Lake sect's base. In an instant, a terrifying explosion formed a monstrous flame that rushed into the void. Violent tremors swept across the ground and tore the area with a radius of more than 10 kilometers into pieces. The surging heat waves continued to spread in all directions and burned everything within a radius of 30 to 40 kilometers into ashes. Even a nearby crystal lake was boiled by this shocking heat wave. Endless water vapor rolled into the void. Unfortunately, with the Crystal Lake sect's base completely destroyed, no one was able to appreciate this shocking scene. Collapsed Underworld has escaped. Even though I've completely destroyed this area, so that no one can provide them with the spatial coordinates, the people from the Heavenly Tao will still be able to descend through other methods. I can't stay here for long. Xing Hui's figure flew straight toward the horizon. He did not choose to go to the Heavenly Sword Alliance or the Hao Ran sect. Even if he helped the Heavenly Sword Alliance destroy the Hao Ran sect, he would not be able to obtain more than 300 items that could carry the Heavenly Tao. However, the value of the almighty Black Ice Holy Sage was definitely much higher than this number. It seems like my control of the Sword of Sunlight is still not up to par. Xing Hui sensed his own divine sword, the Deep Scarlet Sword. He could clearly sense that the Deep Scarlet Sword had already sustained some internal damage after continuously slashing out 6 Sword of Sunlight. Even though this damage could be healed after a period of nourishment, the damage to the Deep Scarlet Sword would continue to worsen the next time he slashed out such a powerful sword technique again and again. He estimated that the Scarlet Abyss sword would crumble after 10 strikes. This also meant that every time the deep scarlet sword was nourished, he could only slash out about 10 swords of sunlight at once. In the end, the power of this sword was too great. It was so great that the power of the sword light he slashed out could be forcefully raised to the level of a great god power. And according to his calculations, any cultivator could easily use their god power 30 to 40 times. Those almighties who had maxed out their recovery ability could even use up to 100 times as long as the frequency was not too high. There is no doubt about the strength of the deep scarlet sword. In the end, it's because my control of the Sword of Sunlight is too weak that it will damage the deep scarlet sword. The Sword of Sunlight was different from the Sword of Sunlight. The Sword of Sunlight could use all his strength to slash out the Sword of Sunlight, but the Sword of Sunlight, it was a power that exploded through fission and fusion. Its power was several times that of the Sword of Sunlight, and it consumed very little energy at the same time. Therefore, as long as he could control the Sword of Sunlight so that it would not damage the deep scarlet sword, he could completely use his sword technique as a great god power. Even if it was unfortunately only a great god power in the future, he could still exert the power of a quasi-supreme god power through the Sword of Sunlight. Let's leave quickly. Sing Hui used the 12th order flying sword, Sky Splitter, to fly at full speed. In less than an hour, he was already thousands of kilometers away from the Crystal Lake. Then he found a secluded mountain forest, pulled out the unconscious holy sage Xianbing, and woke her up directly. "Ah, don't kill me, don't kill me." Holy sage Xianbing screamed in fear as soon as she woke up. "Holy sage Xianbing, calm down," Sing Hui said in a deep voice. "You..." Holy sage Xianbing looked at Sing Hui with a trace of resentment and fear in her eyes. At this time, all her arrogance had been destroyed by Sing Hui's 6 consecutive sword moves. "Holy sage Xianbing, you have the support of the Way of Heaven. According to the Void Walker, you are the son of Holy Master Qingwei, one of the 8 great Tao Masters of the Way of Heaven. Yes, my father is Holy Master Qingwei." Hearing Sing Hui mention Holy Master Qingwei, Holy Sage Xianbing seemed to have grasped at a life-saving straw. She said fiercely, "If you dare to kill me, my father will hunt you down to the end of the world." Moreover, the leakless Holy Master of the Way of Heaven is proficient in the art of divination. Even if you find a remote place to hide, leakless Holy Master will definitely be able to divine your location. Therefore, you better let me go at once. I can promise you that I will explain to my father that what happened today has never happened. Otherwise, even if you kill me, you can't escape death. In the end, you will die together with me. There is no deep hatred between us. Why do you have to make such a scene? Chapter 546. Although Holy Master Xianbing hated Sing Hui to the extreme, she still maintained her rationality. At this time, she could not anger Sing Hui. She had to persuade him with emotion and reason, so as to eliminate his hostility. Everything had to wait until she could save her own life. After saving her own life and leaving this place, a cold light flashed in the depths of Holy Master Xuanbing's eyes. At that time, she would definitely turn the person in front of her into ashes. Not only him, but also his family, his parents, his relatives, and friends. She would not let a single one of them go. Only then could she eliminate the hatred of being humiliated by this person. You're right. There's no deep hatred between us. There's no need to make such a big fuss. Moreover, if I kill you, I will definitely offend the entire Heavenly Tao. Currently, Heavenly Tao is one of the most powerful forces in the divine wilderness. Offending Heavenly Tao will not bring me any benefits. At that time, I can only find a way to join the divine wilderness or the eternal. With my identity as an almighty, joining the divine wilderness or the eternal will definitely be welcomed. Unfortunately, this is not what I want. Sing Hui said slowly. Yes. You've said too much. You won't gain anything by being an enemy of Heavenly Tao. Even if you join the divine wilderness or the eternal, it will be useless. I don't mind telling you that Heavenly Tao will unify the entire divine wilderness sooner or later. This is an unchangeable trend. Although there are still a series of chaotic forces in the divine wilderness, those chaotic forces are not worth mentioning. When Heavenly Tao's reinforcements arrive, they will be wiped out immediately. Other than the Eternal, who can give us some trouble, no other force can stop Heavenly Tao from unifying the divine wilderness. Therefore, you should befriend Heavenly Tao as soon as possible and even join Heavenly Tao. This is definitely the best and wisest choice. Oh, Qing Su looked at Saint Xianbing and said with a sliver of surprise, "The heavenly ways want to unify the divine wilderness. That's something that has happened since ancient times, so it's nothing special. However, I've never seen you succeed in all these years. I don't deny that the heavenly ways possess great strength, but none of the other organizations of chaos are weak apart from the heavenly ways. In particular, the divine wilderness and eternity are no weaker than your heavenly ways. It's still very early for the heavenly ways to crush them, so the heavenly ways can't do anything to me if I hide in these two organizations. You only know one thing, but you don't know the other." Holy Master Xianbing was afraid that Xing Hui would kill her and join the Eternal or the divine wilderness, so she hurriedly said, "The divine wilderness is just a native force of this world. Many experts of this world died in the war 10,000 years ago, so they are not worth mentioning at all. Although the Eternal is not native, they have long lost contact with the forces behind them, so they are not a threat. Only Heavenly Tao has always maintained contact with the outside forces. Not long ago, we received a message from the forces behind us that their void fleet is approaching the divine wilderness. When they arrive, the entire divine wilderness will fall under the control of Heavenly Tao, and the secret of the divine wilderness abundant Tao aura will be completely grasped by Heavenly Tao. So Heavenly Tao will soar into the sky and become the greatest force in the chaos. Native forces, external forces. Xing Hui vaguely heard the firmament master mention that Heavenly Tao was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. At that time, he did not think much about it, but now it seemed that Heavenly Tao was not simple because of this reason. They belonged to the external forces. And that void fleet, what's the matter with the void fleet? The black eyes holy master looked at Xing Hui, her gaze faintly flickering. In fact, she had only heard her father mention the void fleet occasionally. This matter was still highly confidential, and she did not know the specifics. Fortunately, as she had been by Qing Wei holy woman's side for many years, she had obtained a lot of information. Through this information, she made some conjectures and immediately began to exaggerate. The Void Fleet is a powerful fleet sent by the forces behind Heavenly Tao. 10,000 years ago, Heavenly Tao and Eternity once invaded the divine wilderness world, but many experts in the divine wilderness world risked their lives in a bloody battle. Not only were there one thought to create a world experts, it was said that there were great existences above one thought to create a world that fought and repelled the forces behind Heavenly Tao and Eternity. At the same time, they cut off the passageway between the divine wilderness world and the outside world, causing the divine wilderness to become an ownerless land in the void. Now, Heavenly Tao and Eternity belong to the remaining forces of Heavenly Tao and Eternity who were unable to retreat in time. After 10,000 years, the divine wilderness has fallen into a state of decline, and Heavenly Tao has once again locked onto the location of the divine wilderness. Xing Hui looked at the black eyes holy master and analyzed whether her words were true or false. You should understand that the current divine wilderness is not worth mentioning compared to its heyday 10,000 years ago. The difference between the two is like a firefly compared to the bright moon. Once the void fleet of the forces behind Heavenly Tao descends, who can resist? Not the divine wilderness, not the Eternity, and naturally not the other chaos organizations. At that time, the divine wilderness will be ruled by Heavenly Tao. Therefore, at this time, it is best to please Heavenly Tao and join us. She looked at Qing Su and said, "You're a powerful figure. If you're willing to join our way of the heavens at a time like this, we'll definitely welcome you with open arms. In particular, I'm the son of Holy Woman Qingwei. With my guidance, I can guarantee you a meteoric rise in the way of the heavens. As long as you make some contributions, it won't be difficult for you to become a true lord. However, once the Void Fleet arrives, it'll probably be too late for you to join the way of the heavens. The opportunity is right in front of you." While speaking, Black Ice Holy Master sneered in her heart. As long as Xing Hui dared to follow her back to Heavenly Tao, she would definitely let him know what it meant to beg for death. Xing Hui looked at Black Ice Holy Master and was silent for a moment, as if he was considering. But in the end, he gritted his teeth and said with a fierce look, "I still don't believe you. Just now, I seriously injured you and almost killed you. Once I really go back to Heavenly Tao with you, you will mobilize the experts of Heavenly Tao to deal with me. Then, I will be helpless. Therefore, I'd better kill you and then join Eternal. The Divine Wilderness is a local force and has no future. But Eternal must have connections with the outside forces. Maybe their Void Fleet is also on the way. No. Impossible. We have pawns lurking in Eternal. If their Void Fleet comes, we will know. Joining Heavenly Tao is the right choice." Holy Master Xianbing panicked. "Humph. Although you're a powerful figure, you can't be the highest level in Heavenly Tao. How can you know what happened in Eternal? Maybe this information has been concealed by the higher-ups of Heavenly Tao." Xing Hui said, with a fierce look in his eyes, "Well, let me send you on your way." "No. If you kill me, aren't you afraid that my father will kill you? Even if you join Eternal, you can't stay in Eternal's territory forever. Once you leave Eternal's territory and lose its protection, you'll be in danger forever. This will not do you any good." Black Ice Holy Master said hurriedly, no longer as calm as before. "Let you go? How can I guarantee that you won't take revenge on me in the future? I swear to God, I will never take revenge on you. I don't believe you. I can spare your life, but I have to think of a foolproof way," Xing Hui said, walking back and forth in front of Black Ice Holy Master. He seemed to be really anxious and irritable, which made Black Ice Holy Master tremble with fear. I got it. The reason why Holy Master Qing Wei values you is that you are talented, have a high level of chaos, and have cultivated divine powers. As long as you don't have these, Holy Master Qing Wei will not care about you. Quick, destroy your own cultivation. Then give me your chaos magic incantation. No, not only the chaos magic incantation, but also all the things in your personal space. Otherwise, it won't take long for your cultivation to recover. At that time, you will still take revenge on me. Quick, do as I say. Don't leave anything behind, or I will kill you." Qing Su yelled at Saint Xianbing. His face was filled with worry for the future, and he was under too much pressure. He was on the verge of going insane. His gaze, expression, state, and presence were completely imitated, causing Saint Xuanbing's heart to tremble from fright. You can't do this, you can't do this. If you can't do it, go to hell. Anyway, you will definitely take revenge on me. Instead of being killed by your father, Holy Master Qing Wei, I'd better kill you first and drag you down with me. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the chaos magic incantation, Taoist connotation, and Taoist items. Don't be impulsive. Calm down. We don't have to fight to the point of mutual destruction. Quick, take them out. Give them all to me. As Qing Su said that, he kicked the Black Ice Saint viciously. It's all your fault for sticking your nose into other people's business. If it weren't for you sticking your nose into other people's business, how would I have ended up like this? How would I have offended the heavenly ways? It's all your fault. It's my fault. Your Excellency, please calm down. I'll give you everything. Take these Taoist items, magic weapons, and my chaos magic incantation and leave. Don't worry, I won't let my father kill you. He really won't. Quick. Unknowingly, I've been delayed by you for almost 2 hours. In these 2 hours, Your friend must have reported this matter to your father, Dao Master Qingwei. Perhaps he has already come to the Cloud Sea continent. With his ability as a Dao Master, he might be able to find me at any time. Once he finds me, I'm dead. I have to leave this place as soon as possible. I have to leave this place. Black Eye's Holy Master was scared by Tsing Hui's crazy attitude. She hurriedly handed over her Taoist items, magic weapons, and chaos magic incantation, and said, "Here you go. Here you go. I won't let my father take revenge on you. But I'm afraid that he won't listen to me and will attack you as soon as he shows up. By then, it will be too late for me to stop him." At this time, he didn't dare to think about anything else. He just wanted to save his own life as soon as possible. He became a powerful figure in less than 200 years and had a bright future. He couldn't sacrifice his youth in vain. The chaos, magic, incantation, and magic weapons were just worldly possessions. If he lost them, he could ask his father for more. However, he only had one life. Once he died, he would lose everything. No matter where you are, your origin is very important. Chapter 547. It's all here, all my things are here. In order to save her own life, the Saint Master of Profound Ice was truly shameless. She did not need Qing Su to force her too much. She had already stripped herself clean. It was hard for ordinary people to understand the thinking of a genius. I'm leaving. Remember, no revenge. No revenge. Qing Su continued to act like he was on the brink of a mental breakdown and quickly stowed everything away. He did not even let go of the 13th Order armor of Frost on the Xianbing, Saint Venerable Go. To prevent the armor from leaving behind traces of the Qingwei Holy Man, he used the yin-yang reversal technique again. That way, even if the Qingwei Holy Man wanted to ask the Anus Ruckus Holy Man to find his location through the armor of Frost, it would be futile. I can't stay in a Cloud Sea continent. Tsing Hui panicked, but he was quite satisfied with what he got from Holy Master Xianbing. Holy Master Xianbing had a lot of good things. A level 11 flying sword was worth about 200 Taoist runes. A level 13 armor was worth more than 600 Taoist runes, and an icicle-shaped magic weapon was worth about 200 Taoist runes. If he sold this set of things, he could get thousands of Taoist runes, which was much more than what he could get from completing the tasks in the Cloud Sea continent. Not to mention, in addition to these, he also found some miscellaneous items from Holy Master Xuanbing's body, such as a Dao-carrying item with 14 Dao runes, as well as a 29th level Chaos item. As long as these items could be sold, they would be worth an astronomical figure. Of course, he had to pay a heavy price. No ordinary powerful figure could bear the consequences of offending an invincible giant in the divine realm. If an invincible giant in the divine realm wanted to kill someone, even someone in the divine realm might not be able to resist. After all, it was much more difficult to kill someone than to protect someone. Go. I seem to have sensed my father's aura. If you don't leave now, it will be too late. The Xianbing Holy Master acted like she was begging her grandfather and grandmother. All she wanted to do right now was leave as quickly as possible in Qing ruins and contact her father as quickly as possible. If everything went well, everything she had lost would be returned to her very soon. Swish! Without wasting any more time, Tsing Hui leaped and rushed out of the forest. Seeing that Tsing Hui had finally left, Holy Master Xianbing let out a sigh of relief. The next moment, she recalled everything that she had experienced in the past 2 hours. She couldn't help but feel humiliated like never before. I'll remember you. Tsing Hui, no matter where you hide, I will find you. Do you know how talented I am? He entered the path of cultivation at the age of 10, condensed his vital energy at the age of 60, and formed his Aurus core at the age of 100. After that, he spent more than 100 years to condense his superior grade Aurus core, evolve his Abhijna, and step into the Abhijna realm, becoming a mighty figure. Why had he ever suffered such humiliation in his life? This was an unprecedented amount of hatred. If I don't kill you, I swear I'm not a human. Holy Master Xianbing slowly stood up. There was no longer any trace of humility on her face. Instead, Her chest was filled with uncontrollable rage. However, before she could do anything else, a bright sword light suddenly tore the sky apart. It carried a blazing light that could burn up the void. In an instant, it broke through the sky and headed straight for Holy Master Xianbing. No, Holy Master Xianbing felt the familiar blazing light in the sword light. She opened her eyes wide and let out a desperate and unwilling roar. The next moment, the sword light whistled and directly penetrated her head. I've thought about it. It's safer to kill you. Vaguely, there seemed to be a voice in the void. Filled with unwillingness and anger, Holy Master Xuanbing's world gradually dimmed until it was completely dark. Reverse yin and yang. With a clench of the green ruin's hand, the energy of the world and the laws of energy within several hundred kilometers all fell into disorder under the interference of an invisible ripple. Even if a powerful expert with a teleportation technique wanted to teleport here, they would be severely disrupted, resulting in a result where the slightest mistake could lead to a huge difference. Although I have the reverse yin and yang, I really can't stay in the Cloud Sea continent any longer. Xing Hui thought to himself. He directly sensed where Su Yuan was from the Hidden Sword sect. The next moment, he performed the incarnation skill. Swoosh! As the space in front of him kept shrinking, the surrounding environment also changed rapidly and accelerated until it became a flowing light that was hard to be seen by the naked eye. After a while, the flowing light dissipated and the surrounding environment gradually became clear. Xing Hui had already appeared in the sky above the courtyard of the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce. Xing Hui quietly arrived at the Divine Grace Chamber of Commerce with the help of Su Yuan's consciousness. Then he let his own body step out of the space alone. After this step, he still seemed to be a little worried. He performed the reverse yin and yang again and erased all the information that he had arrived here with the incarnation skill. Although I have been very careful, I should have left a lot of backup plans. First, the fact that the Hunyuan Chamber of Commerce accepted the mission from the Hunyuan sect is a suspicious point. Second, this time I didn't use a fake name in the Cloud Sea continent. Although the name Xing Hui is known in the world, if I contact the Hunyuan Chamber of Commerce again, it will be easy for others to find out. It seems that I have to keep the Hunyuan Chamber of Commerce quiet for a while and try not to have too much contact with the outside world. Besides, Xing Hui thought of esteemed Zhu Zhao. Should he tell esteemed Zhu Zhao about this matter? If esteemed Zhu Zhao could come to his rescue when he was being chased by Holy Master Qing Wei, his safety would undoubtedly be guaranteed. However, thinking of esteemed Zhu Zhao's current state, he shook his head and did not want to disturb him. I have the Lihan Heavenly Whirl with me now. This object has the power to block out the Void Windstorm for a short period of time. Therefore, even if I accidentally teleport into the Void, I will be safe for a short period of time. When that happens, I will use the Heavenly Stone in my hand and the Sword of the Sun to tear the Void and return to the mainland. My safety will be somewhat guaranteed. As he thought of this, Xing Hui could not help but look at the hidden sword sect around him. Now that he was facing the threat of Holy Master Qing Wei, it was not appropriate for him to continue staying in the hidden sword sect. If something went wrong, the entire hidden sword sect could be destroyed. I don't know if esteemed Zhu Zhao and the others have found out about the whereabouts of the hidden sword master. Fortunately, the hidden sword master is flourishing under the management of Xiao Luiying and Luo Hongxin. There is no need for me to stay here all the time. Then, I will go to a nameless mainland to lie low for a while. At the same time, I will ask Heavenly Master to keep a close eye on Holy Master Qing Wei's movements. Xing Hui quickly came up with a plan. However, just as he was about to enter the Chaos Divine Palace and find a random coordinate to hide, his heart skipped a beat. A month's time is up. The cooldown of the deduction technique is over. Why don't I use the deduction technique to calculate the whereabouts of the second piece of the Fortune Divine Jade? When the time comes, I can hide in that mainland. Not only can I avoid Holy Master Qing Wei's sight, I can also investigate the whereabouts of the Fortune Divine Jade, killing two birds with one stone. As soon as he thought of this, Tsing Hui activated the deduction technique and quickly calculated the information of the second piece of the Fortune Divine Jade. As the deduction technique was activated, all kinds of information about the Fortune Divine Jade flowed into his mind. Countless pieces of information gathered from the bits and pieces that he had come into contact with, forming a point. Finally, it pointed to a place. The Fortune Continent. The Fortune Continent, Tsing Hui frowned. What did the second piece of the Fortune Divine Jade have to do with the Fortune Continent? Could it be that there is a second piece of the Fortune Divine Jade on the Fortune Continent? That's impossible. I remember that when the Fortune Divine Jade was unearthed, the people of the Fortune Continent set off a frenzied search for the Fortune Divine Jade. But even after more than 100 years, mobilizing countless manpower and resources, and almost turning the entire Fortune Continent upside down, they still couldn't find the second piece of Fortune Divine Jade. Speaking of this, Tsing Hui seemed to have thought of something, and his pupils shrank. The second piece of Fortune Divine Jade is not on the Fortune Continent, but that mysterious array formation. That mysterious array formation was very likely related to the second piece of Fortune Divine Jade. Moreover, Tsing Hui speculated that once that mysterious array formation was repaired, it might be able to connect to Earth, allowing him to return to Earth and reunite with his family, parents, and senior sisters. My current cultivation is more than 100 times stronger than when I first stepped onto the Fortune Continent. At this time, if I want to unify the Fortune Continent, it would be a piece of cake. It's time to gather the wisdom and strength of everyone on the Fortune Continent to repair that transmission divine array. Tsing Hui muttered to himself. He had already made up his mind. The place of refuge was the Fortune Continent. There are no coordinates on the Fortune Continent, and because the Fortune Continent is too far away from Heaven Wasteland, very few supreme experts are willing to send their incarnations to the Fortune Continent. Over time, the Fortune Continent and Heaven Wasteland are in a semi-isolated state. It's not easy to find a Fortune Continent cultivator from the Chaos Temple. Therefore, if I want to go to the Fortune Continent, I can only use the transmission technique. Although the transmission technique was a life-saving measure, considering the many secrets hidden on the Fortune mainland, Qing Su pondered for a moment before deciding to use the transmission technique. I've already cultivated the immortal body, and I also have the backtrack technique. So what if I offend the Qing Wei Holy Man and the Lihen Holy Man? If I'm really forced to the edge of life and death, I can forcefully derive a divine ability. Even if my golden core is not at the perfection stage, it's still not difficult to derive a divine ability. At that time, even if they're God Realm experts, I might not be powerless to fight back. Thinking of this, Tsing Hui's gaze fell on the transmission technique on the Sun of Chaos interface. While Tsing Hui was using the transmission technique to travel to the Fortune Continent in the Heavenly Tao, the Qing Wei Holy Man had also learned about the death of the Black Ice Holy Senior from the Voidwalker. He personally descended to the Cloud Sea mainland to understand the whole story. After ordering people to destroy the Sky Sword Union and Hao Ran's sect, he directly returned. Enraged, he directly descended to the mountain peak where the Wu Lu Holy Man, who was proficient in the art of divination, resided. Inisrava Holy Man, I need your help. My son, my only son, who became a powerful being at a young age and who had a boundless future, was brutally murdered by a scoundrel in a remote corner of the Cloud Sea mainland. Even the ancient frost divine armor that I bestowed upon him fell into the hands of that scoundrel. I need to borrow your strength to deduce the location of that murderer, and then personally capture that murderer, crush his bones, and scatter his ashes to avenge my son's death. No matter who the murderer is, this debt of blood will be paid. To explain a little about the problem of storing Taoist aura, storing Taoist aura does not represent all the assets of a chaos organization, but is equivalent to a reserve fund. Just like a family, the total assets are one thing, and the circulating funds are another. It is like an individual leaving a bank card to pay for medical expenses, social expenses, and so on. These reserve funds can even be understood as a corporate risk fund, and cannot be compared to the total assets of an entire organization. It should be known that according to the setting, the total assets of a God Realm expert basically start from 4 digits. Chapter 548. Your son, Xianbing, has fallen? Wu Likless Holy Man looked at Qing Wei Holy Man, whose heart was filled with endless anger, like a volcano that could erupt at any time, and was somewhat surprised. Yes, please help me, Wu Likless Holy Man. If you can find the real murderer of my son, I will owe you a favor. Even if you need me to work together to kill an invincible existence in the divine realm, I will do my best. At this moment, Qing Wei's heart was extremely angry, and he could not wait to capture the murderer of his son alive and grind his bones to dust. However, Wu Likless Holy Man was the second Dao Master of the 8 Dao Masters of the Tian Dao, and he did not dare to order Wu Likless Holy Man directly. Instead, his tone was more of a request. Okay, don't worry. I will calculate the whereabouts of the murderer for you. You can give me the information you have collected. You should understand that the success rate of the deduction technique is not only related to the level and the target's cultivation, chaos level, and deduction technique level, but also related to the completeness of the information you provide. The more information you provide, the more complete it is, the more likely I will be able to deduce his whereabouts. I understand. I spent 3 days in the Cloud Sea mainland to collect all the information that could be collected on this mainland, and it is all in this jade talisman. Please take a look. Wu Likless Holy Man, Qing Wei Holy Man said as he handed over a jade talisman. Wu Likless Holy Man took the jade talisman and looked at it for a moment. He could not help but be surprised. Qing Wei Holy Man, you have almost finished your investigation. The murderer seems to be one of the people who accepted the mission of the Hunyuan sect. Although the name of Tsing Hui is not known to be true or false, it can still be an important clue. With these clues, and according to their life trajectory, it will be much easier to deduce their current location. As he spoke, he activated his deduction technique and quickly calculated Tsing Hui's position. With the operation of his deduction technique, countless pieces of information gathered rapidly in his mind and were separated at an extremely fast speed. Combined with the information provided by Holy Woman Qing Wei, he soon deduced the result. The murderer of your son is most likely the mastermind behind the Hunyuan Chamber of Commerce. The mastermind behind the Hunyuan Chamber of Commerce is suspected to be esteemed Zhu Zhao of the Heavenly Vault. However, in addition to esteemed Zhu Zhao, a mysterious expert named Dongyang is also very suspicious. In addition, Zhu Zhao has a disciple named Tsing Hui, who is also likely to be the murderer of your son. The only point of conflict is that Tsing Hui is not a powerful figure, which is inconsistent with the information you provided. If Tsing Hui has reached the realm of powerful figures, he must be the murderer. My deduction technique is still in progress. Do you need me to calculate its location for you? Yes. Holy Woman Qing Wei gritted her teeth and said, Tsing Hui and the person who killed my son have the same name. I don't believe that this is a coincidence. Even if Tsing Hui is not a powerful figure, he must be closely related to the murderer. As long as we can catch him, we can most likely find the real murderer of my son. Okay. Enisrava, Holy Woman, simply and directly agreed and continued to deduce. However, as he began to deduce Tsing Hui's whereabouts, Tsing Hui, who was tens of millions of miles away from the Heaven Wasteland world and had already arrived at the Fortune mainland, suddenly felt a sense of being spied on. The next moment, he seemed to have thought of something, and his face changed slightly. He directly cast out a yin-yang reversal immortal technique to disturb the surrounding information, yuan qi, and other related fluctuations, causing all the information elements within millions of kilometers to become chaotic. Buzz buzz. Enisrava, Holy Woman's figure, which was in the midst of deduction, paused slightly, and a mysterious fluctuation spread out, causing his deduction to come to an abrupt halt. How could? What happened? Holy Woman Qing Wei hurriedly asked. Enisrava, Holy Woman, frowned slightly. There's something wrong with that mysterious person called Tsing Hui, he can actually interfere with my deduction technique. How is that possible? In terms of deduction technique, even the pavilion master of the Divine Secrets Pavilion can't be compared to you. In the entire Divine Wasteland, you're the only son of chaos who has raised his deduction technique to the 5th stage. It's true. Anisrava, holy woman, closed his eyes slightly. There are 4 possibilities for this phenomenon to occur. The first possibility is that his chaos level is higher than mine, at least 6 levels higher. However, I'm one of the only 244th stage sons of chaos in the heavenly Tao, which is 6 levels higher than mine. The other party has to be at least a 50th stage chaos level, which is impossible. As for the second possibility, his deduction technique is 2 levels higher than mine, and for a deduction technique to be higher than mine by 2 levels, his deduction technique has to be at the 7th stage, and his chaos level has to be at the 41st stage, which is also unlikely. As for the third possibility, his cultivation base is higher than mine by 2 large realms, and he has reached the 3rd stage of the divine realm. That's also impossible. Then, there's only one left. He has cultivated a technique to conceal himself from the heavenly Tao. Moreover, this technique has been refined to an extremely astonishing degree, so much so that he can break through my deduction technique. Anisrava, holy woman's various deductions were completely based on the fact that information was not transparent. Even though the Li Hin holy man and the broken sword holy woman knew that Xing Hui's chaos level was 40 levels higher than his, both of them had the intention of monopolizing Xing Hui's chaos level. Hence, they did not inform the entire heavenly Tao of this news, which caused Anisrava, holy woman, to miscalculate. Of course, the most important point was that it was extremely difficult for a low-level son of chaos to use deduction techniques to deduce a high-level son of chaos. The results would not be much better than what they found out themselves. It was just that Anisrava, holy woman, and the others did not think that Xing Hui's chaos level was much higher than theirs, which was why they believe in the results of their deduction without a doubt. A technique to conceal himself from the heavenly Tao. Although the techniques to conceal himself from the heavenly Tao that are circulated in the divine wilderness are rare, there are few that can achieve good results. Among them, the first is the yin-yang reversal technique of the remote fortune continent. Next is the heavenly Tao that the Pavilion of Divine Mysteries created based on his own deduction technique. There's also the divine divination technique unearthed in the ancient cave that has the same effect. Why don't you investigate based on these 3 points? All right. Thank you, Anisrava, holy man. I'll go now. Buzz, buzz. Qingwei, holy woman, was about to speak when a faint pressure swept over from the void. Following that, she saw Li Hin, holy man, who was ranked above him, striding over and appearing on the peak of Anisrava, holy man's mountain. Anisrava, holy man. Li Hin, holy man, nodded his head slightly towards Anisrava, holy man, to show his respect. Then he turned towards Qingwei, holy man, and said, Qingwei, holy man, is also here. That's great. Li Hin, holy man, Anisrava, holy man, and Qingwei, holy man both nodded their heads and said, Li Hin, holy man, is there any progress on that plan of yours? Yes. Li Hin, holy man's face was filled with joy as he said, the first holy man is currently in closed-door training to break through to the 3rd level of the divine wilderness. I don't want to disturb him, but as holy men can help him clear some obstacles in advance. Everyone should know about my son, Broken Sword. During this period of time, he has been constantly scheming and angering Tianqiong Zhuzhao. Now, he is confident that he can lure him out and provide us with an opportunity to kill him. I came here this time to ask Anisrava, holy man, to calculate if there are any loopholes in this plan and if there are any areas that need to be fixed. On the other hand, I want to ask Anisrava, holy man, to help me. I have already asked Wu Se, holy man, and the Grand Emperor, holy man, to join forces with us, 2 holy men, to kill Tianqiong Zhuzhao. With that, he glanced at holy woman Qingwei and said, I also intend to invite holy woman Qingwei to help. Holy woman Qingwei, you were once chased by Swordmaster by Hung 30 years ago, and I saved you. You owe me a small favor. Now that I'm asking Holy Woman Qingwei to help us kill the Heavenly Torch Warrior, I'm sure Holy Woman Qingwei won't refuse. Killing Tianxiong Zhu will bring glory to the way of the heavens and help us to unify the divine wilderness. Qingwei Holy Man wanted to find the murderer of his son immediately. But the Lihen Holy Man not only used the righteousness of the way of the heavens to pressure him, but also mentioned that Tianxiong Zhu had saved his life. Qingwei Holy Man could not refuse. After hesitating for a moment, he could only temporarily put the matter of avenging his son aside and chose to focus on the big picture. Okay, when we strike, please let me know, Lihen Holy Man. Anyway, there were clues to the murderer's whereabouts. It was most likely Xing Hui, who was suspected to be the disciple of the Jinzhao master. If the Jinzhao master was still around, it would not be easy for him to kill Xing Hui. Now that he had joined forces with the Lihen Holy Man and the others to kill Jinzhao, and then kill Xing Hui, it would be a good idea. As for when we strike, we still have to ask the Anisrava Holy Man to calculate. We used the broken sword to plot against Zhenjiao, and God knows if Zhenjiao and the others are also using themselves to plot against us. If we think that we have set a trap for Zhenjiao to jump into, but when we really strike, Tianxiong, Jianying, and the other top masters of the chaos will appear outside. When that time comes, the ones who will be in danger or even perish will be us holy men. The Lihen Holy Man was extremely cautious about this matter. The Anisrava Holy Man nodded. Zhenjiao is still okay, but Tianxiong can be said to be scheming and astute. In addition, Tianxiong and Jianying are very close now. It is said that even Tianxiong has the tendency to join their alliance. In this way, the number of invincible divine stage masters on their side will reach double digits, especially when it is said that Jianying and the Baihong Sword sect are very close. They seem to be in an offensive and defensive alliance, and the power they can mobilize is even greater. The Baihong Sword sect likes to meddle in other people's business. When we are free, the first sect to be dealt with will be them. The Qingwei Holy Man's eyes were piercingly cold. He could not forget the time when he was chased by Sword Master Bai Heng for 1 day and 1 night, and there was no way out. Was it not for the sake of seizing a Tao object that he had killed a powerful figure of the Baihong Sword sect? 1 temple, 3 sects, 6 schools, and 9 sects are nothing. Because of the internal struggle for power within these sects, we have the opportunity to take advantage of them. Several sects have been infiltrated by us, and some of them are secretly led by us. At present, what we really need to deal with is these chaos organizations. After all, only the chaos organizations have the qualifications to control the Chaos Temple, and controlling the Chaos Temple is related to whether we can control the flow of the Tao aura of the entire divine wilderness. This is very important. The Anisrava Holy Man said cautiously, the flow of the Tao aura of the divine wilderness world. Back then, the Heavenly Way paid such a huge price to cross the starry sky and attack the divine wilderness. We paid an incomparably heavy price because we were interested in the extraordinarily high Tao aura production in the divine wilderness world and wanted to uncover the secrets within. 10,000 years ago, our ancestors sacrificed countless amounts of blood, and more than 10 great existences that dominated the chaos fell outside the divine wilderness. But they were unable to conquer the divine wilderness and dominate this world. And now, this great feat will be realized in our hands. A trace of fanaticism flashed across the Lihen Holy Man's eyes, as if he could already see the day when the Heavenly Way would descend upon the divine wilderness. My deduction technique has just been used, and it still needs a month to cool down. A month later, I will calculate the success rate of this matter. If there is no problem, as the Wu Leakless Holy Man said this, a cold light flashed across his eyes. Surround and kill Zhu Zhao. Chapter 549. Someone is using the art of divination to calculate my whereabouts. On the Fortune mainland, Tsing Hui was muttering to himself in a restaurant not far from the Purple Cloud Palace in the Cloud Pass City. He also knew the art of divination, and it had reached the second level. Therefore, he was very familiar with the strange state of being spied on just now. If I'm not wrong, the one who is calculating my whereabouts is most likely the flawless holy man of the heavenly Tao, but I don't know if he can calculate my whereabouts. As Tsing Hui said this, he thought about the description of the art of divination and finally shook his head. The art of divination is related to the realm of the cultivator, the level of chaos, the level of the art of divination, and the information one has. With the power in the hands of the Qing Wei holy man, he may be able to find out that the murderer of his son is me, Tsing Hui, but to lock onto my position is tantamount to a fool's dream. Even the flawless holy man can't calculate the location of a son of chaos who has reached the 52nd level of chaos. Although his clues could not be calculated, Tsing Hui still felt a sense of urgency in his heart. The Qing Wei holy man could not determine his whereabouts, but if he chose to come to the eastern wilderness and destroy the Hidden Sword sect, would he show up or not? Even though descending upon a continent outside of the infinite wasteland domain and destroying the continent in his true form would incur the wrath and resistance of many chaos organizations, the Heavenly Way itself was one of the 3 most powerful chaos organizations and was the one who set the rules. Furthermore, Holy Man Qing Wei was an invincible being in the divine state. Even if he really did so, it was still unknown whether there would be any invincible giant in the divine state who would be willing to stand up for him. Although obtaining thousands of Tao rhythms in one go will bring me one step closer to the exceptional Aurus core stage, the price I have to pay is also very serious. I have to speed up and find a way to cultivate the divine ability as soon as possible. Only after cultivating the divine ability can I be considered to have the power to protect myself against the furious Qing Wei holy man. Tsing Hui took a deep breath. Killing and arson was a golden belt, but this kind of wealth was not so easy to obtain. Why is it so messy? Just as Tsing Hui was pondering, a rather cold and arrogant voice came from the entrance of the restaurant where he was sitting. Qing Su raised his head slightly and glanced over. He saw a beautiful spirit refining cultivator accompanied by a few people of the same age. She stood there indifferently. This woman had a proud face and was dressed luxuriously. Coupled with her peerless appearance and outstanding temperament, she looked like an awe-inspiring and inviolable fairy. Many customers in the restaurant stared at her. However, some people's expressions changed slightly when they saw the badge on the girl's body. It's the Chong clan. This ought to be the Su clan's second young miss, Su Shanshan, right? She's really as beautiful as the rumors say. No wonder she's able to cause countless young elites in Cloud Pass City to be infatuated with her. Even some of the nearby cities have young masters and nobles that have heard of her beautiful reputation, want to see her beautiful appearance. The Su clan is a famous clan in Cloud Pass City. They specialize in building materials and real estate businesses. It's said that even the Purple Cloud Palace branch in our city was built by the Su clan. Their power is extremely tyrannical. Rumor has it that there are a few Spirit Chi Unity Realm cultivators in the clan. Following the arrival of the woman, the crowd started to discuss and looked at Su Shanshan's body. So it's second young Mississippi. Second young miss, please come in. Following Su Shanshan's arrival, a quick-witted waiter immediately stepped forward with a smile. I like peace and quiet. I'll book this restaurant today. Get everyone out. Su Shanshan frowned when she heard the crowd discussion and said coldly. Hearing that, the waiter glanced at the dozens of customers and revealed a difficult expression. Why, isn't it just money, Sui? This is for you. Get rid of them immediately. A young man with true Qi realm cultivation behind Su Shanshan stepped forward and sprinkled a handful of silver. Second young miss, I really can't decide on this matter. I'll have to ask the shopkeeper. Looking at the silver in his hand, the waiter trembled and was in a difficult position. Seeing that, another young lady couldn't bear it and said, Sister Shanshan, let's find a quiet room to sit. There's no need to trouble others and make things difficult for the waiter. Little Ling, it's not easy for you to come to our Cloud Pass city. As the host, how can I explain myself if I don't treat you well? There's really no need to be so troublesome. It's just that I've been too depressed in the sect during this period of time. I'm just out to relax. There's no need to make such a big fuss. Su Shanshan looked at the young lady in front of her for a moment and finally nodded. All right then, it's up to you. Arrange a private room for us. All right, second young miss, please come in. Ladies and young master, please. Hearing that Su Shanshan no longer insisted on driving away the customers in the shop, the waiter hurriedly agreed happily and led the group of 8 inside. However, at this moment, the young master who had been sitting at the seat closest to the window and waving a hand fan glanced at Su Shanshan and said, "You could be considered as having some beauty. No wonder you're a little famous in this small Cloud Pass city. I'm out of play and need a maid to warm my bed and fold my quilt. I'll choose you. Huan Lu, go and bring her over." "Yes, young master." One of the 2 guards behind the man who was dressed like a young master responded and walked towards Su Shanshan and the others with an expressionless face. When the 3 men in Su Shanshan's group of 8 heard their words, they stood out and said sternly, "How dare you? Who are you? How dare you say such filthy words? Why aren't you apologizing to young Miss Shanshan?" However, the man who was called Huan Lu didn't even look at them. He grabbed at Su Shanshan expressionlessly. "Impudent!" the man named Su Yi shouted. The sword in his hand was suddenly unsheathed. True energy burst out and formed a sword light, directly chopping a Huan Lu's outstretched arm. "Stop!" And the man Huan Lu's face turned cold. His outstretched arm didn't change, but his left hand had already abruptly stretched out and fiercely grasped Su Ye's sword. His strength exploded and his aura burst out. The sword in Su Ye's hand that had reached the 3rd level instantly shattered. Then, Huan Lu's hand moved again and a thunderous strike heavily landed on Su Ye's body. Su Yi, who was only at the peak of the true energy realm, seemed to have been struck by lightning. He spat out blood and exploded like a cannonball, directly smashing a nearby table into pieces. "Ah, what are you doing?" After sending Su Yi flying with one blow, Huan Lu's other arm grabbed Su Shanshan and expressionlessly dragged her towards the man dressed like a young master. "Stop! Let go of Shanshan!" The man and woman closest to Su Shanshan saw that Su Shanshan was captured. At the same time, they angrily shouted. Their aura burst out and quickly blocked Huan Lu. Ling Ling saw something and shouted in panic, "Be careful! He's at least an expert of the unity of spirit and qi." But her shout was a bit too slow. Huan Lu's expression turned cold. His left hand once again punched out, courting death. With one punch, the heaven and earth's origin qi within a radius of 100 meters seemed to be attracted by his punch. Under the power of this punch that could attract the heaven and earth's origin qi, the remaining man and woman's aura burst out like paper and collapsed on the spot. Then, the remaining force of the punch fell on the man and woman. The tyrannical aura burst out. The woman whose cultivation base had just reached the spirit refining realm died on the spot. The remaining man whose aura was more vigorous was also sent flying by the punch. After falling to the ground, he was also on the verge of death. Xiao Ming, Xiao Zhen, the remaining few men and women saw that Xiao Ming and Xiao Zhen, 2 spirit refining cultivators, were actually beaten to death, and one was heavily injured. They were so scared that they kept quiet out of fear. Those who were originally in the restaurant were either scared to the point of not daring to move or quickly left quietly. As for the waiters and shopkeepers of the restaurant, they all went into hiding. When immortals fight, mortals suffer. Neither side in front of them were people that ordinary people like them could provoke. "Stop!" Only the girl, Ling Ling, who seemed to be from a sect, mustered her courage and stood in front of Huan Lu. "What are you doing? This is Cloud Pass City, the territory of the Purple Cloud Palace. How dare you bully people in Cloud Pass City in broad daylight?" Once the Purple Cloud Palace's spiritual master Hunyuan finds out about this, he definitely won't forgive you. You'd better let them go as soon as possible. Otherwise, it'll be too late for regrets. Ha ha. Before Huan Lu opened his mouth, the young man who was dressed like a young master, sitting by the window, could not help but laugh. Ziyuan? Let Ziyuan control me? A small city-level palace master. He doesn't have the guts to point fingers in front of me. After saying that, his gaze sized up Ling Ling. This little girl looks pretty good. Although her appearance is a bit lacking, she's young and tender. Just nice. I'll have a dragon and 2 phoenixes tonight to enjoy the joy of having 2 people. Haha. Huan Lu, subdue her and bring her over. Yes, young master. Huan Lu expressionlessly responded. He pointed his hand and restrained Su Shanshan. Then, he cleverly sent her to the front of the young master. Once again, he reached out his hand to grab Ling Ling. Ah, what are you doing? Stop it, you beast! Although Su Shanshan, who had fallen into the man's hands, was restrained, she still had the ability to speak. She immediately screamed in panic. Beast? You actually dare to call me a beast? Then I'll let you see what a real beast is. Su Shanshan's words seemed to have angered the man. He suddenly stood up and tore her clothes apart, revealing the moon-white belly band and a large area of snow-white, jade-like skin. How dare you insult me? Didn't you say that your name is spread far and wide in Cloud Pass City? Today, I'll do you in front of everyone here. Let's see how you'll be able to face anyone in the future. The man shouted excitedly and pushed Su Shanshan down on the table in front of him. Then, he reached out and grabbed her beige checker dress. He lifted it up and looked as if he was going to do her in front of everyone. Stop. Do you still have any respect for the law? A man with a rather righteous heart in the crowd could not watch any longer. He slammed the table and stood up while shouting loudly. Bang! The table in front of Sing Hui was smashed into pieces. It's the weekend again. It's time for me to explode. I'll continue today. Chapter 550. Young man, you are very arrogant. Sing Hui held the teacup in his hand in the air. Although he didn't taste the tea because he was thinking about something, it didn't mean that he was ignorant of what was happening around him. He couldn't stand this man dressed like a rich man. Even if he didn't make a move now, he would make a move later when he was almost done considering things and his mind was clear. Not to mention his bodyguard, Ring 6, had interfered with him. Sing Hui's voice echoed in the hotel, and for a moment, it attracted the attention of the man who was in high spirits. However, he still didn't pay much attention to it. He just reprimanded another guard. Huan Si, what are you doing here? Yes, young master. The other guard named Huan Si responded respectfully and walked toward Sing Hui with no expression. It seemed that he didn't walk fast, but in a flash he had already appeared in front of Sing Hui. Then he slapped down at Sing Hui as if he was swatting an ignorant fly. You help the tyrant and humiliate ordinary people. You deserve to be killed. Sing Hui glanced at the man, and the sword essence in his spiritual world shook slightly. The next moment, there seemed to be a fire in his pupils that was directly reflected in Huan Si's spiritual world. In front of the reflected fire, the powerful guard with the cultivation of the late stage of Green Hell Realm was instantly burned out by the endless light and heat. His raised right hand had not had time to slap down, and his body had suddenly stiffened, and then his breath of life quickly disappeared from his body, and he completely fell down and lost his breath. Huan Lu, who had already captured Ling Ling and dragged her toward his young master, was slightly stunned when he saw Huan Si suddenly fall down. When he couldn't sense Huan Si's breath of life, a trace of fear finally appeared on his expressionless face. Then, he didn't care about Ling Ling, who was under his control, and flew up. In the blink of an eye, he appeared beside the man who tore off Su Shanshan's skirt again and said sternly, Young master, be careful. This man is a master. Expert? The man who was still bullying Su Shanshan paused slightly. He tilted his head and glanced at Huan Si, who had lost his breath of life. His pupils suddenly shrank. Dead? Taking advantage of this opportunity, Su Shanshan suddenly yelled and struggled to break free from the man's hand. She quickly rushed towards the direction of the boys and girls on her side. She was wrapped in a tattered dress, and her whole body was trembling. She looked at the man, Huan Lu, and the others with eyes full of fear. This experience would definitely become an unforgettable nightmare for the rest of her life. Who are you? How dare you commit murder in my Purple Cloud Palace's territory and kill my Purple Cloud Palace's disciples? How dare you? The man looked at Xing Hui, and there was no obvious fear in his eyes. Instead, he shouted sternly at him. Purple Cloud Palace? Are you a disciple of the Purple Cloud Palace? That's right. I am an inner disciple of the Purple Cloud Palace's Tianju Mountain headquarters. Go you. Humph. My Purple Cloud Palace's headquarters in the central region is only a few thousand kilometers away from here. There are more than a dozen transformative realm experts and dozens of true energy realm experts there. As long as there is any movement here, they will rush over in less than 2 hours. How dare you use your cultivation to kill my Purple Cloud Palace's disciples in my territory? Humph. If you don't give my Purple Cloud Palace an explanation today, don't even think about leaving easily. The man, Go Yu, reacted extremely quickly. When he realized that he couldn't do anything to the person in front of him, he immediately put on a show and kept mentioning the Purple Cloud Palace. Unfortunately, Xing Hui didn't seem to care about the so-called Purple Cloud Palace at all. He glanced at him indifferently. It seems that after a few years, the Purple Cloud Palace hasn't made any progress. That old man Xiang Jun has done a lot of harm to the Purple Cloud Palace. Xiang Jun? When Go Yu first heard the name Xiang Jun, he felt that it was somewhat familiar. However, when Huan Lu, the guard behind him, whispered in his ear, his expression changed greatly. He suddenly recalled who the Xiang Jun that Xing Hui mentioned was. Immediately, his face lost its previous confidence and turned pale with fright. Xiang Jun was their Purple Cloud Palace's unending realm Grand Elder, an existence that stood at the peak of the Purple Cloud Palace's authority. Xing Hui actually directly mentioned Xiang Jun's name and even called him an old man. Even if he wasn't at the same level as Xiang Jun, he probably wasn't too far off. In front of such a terrifying existence, his so-called identity as an inner disciple of the Purple Cloud Palace's Tianju Mountain headquarters wasn't even worth mentioning. Wait, Go Yu, don't tell me you're also related to that so-called genius Gaochen of the Purple Cloud Palace? At this time, Go Yu no longer had the arrogant aura that he had when he bullied others. Instead, he carefully bent his waist and said in a respectful tone, Gaochen is my elder brother. How should I address Senior? If you're acquainted with our Purple Cloud Palace, our Gaochen ancestor will definitely pay you a visit as a courtesy. No wonder you're this kind of trash. So you're jackals of the same tribe. Xing Hui indifferently replied. At this time, Su Shanshan also recovered from her fright. Looking at the trembling Go Yu, she immediately stepped forward and half-knelt in front of Xing Hui. With a delicate and pitiful look, she said, Senior, please uphold justice for this little girl. On the other hand, Ling Ling pulled Su Shanshan back in fright after Go Yu announced her name. Let's go quickly. Let's leave this place first. The Gaochen clan was a large clan of the Purple Cloud Palace. Even if they could plead with this senior to severely punish Go Yu, the Gaochen clan would definitely not let the matter rest after the matter was investigated. At that time, without the protection of this senior, the Su clan would definitely face a disaster. The disciples of the Burning Sky sect have actually become so unbearable. Xing Hui's gaze shifted from Go Yu to Ling Ling again. Xing Hui could see traces of the cultivation method of the Burning Sky sect on her body. Senior. Ling Ling looked at Xing Hui and could not help but feel somewhat puzzled. In her impression, the Burning Sky sect did not know such a young senior expert. However, Xing Hui did not pay any more attention to her. Instead, he cast his gaze towards Su Shanshan. You want me to uphold justice for you? I can promise you that. I can even give you the chance to kill him directly and give you the chance to wash away your humiliation. However, you have to consider this carefully. The person before you is rather influential in the Purple Cloud Palace. Once the force behind him investigates, Your entire Sioux clan will face a disaster because of your actions. Aren't you afraid that when the time comes, you'll vent your anger on the entire Sioux clan? Su Shanshan, who had originally been resolutely pleading Tsing Hui to uphold justice for her, could not help but hesitate when she heard Tsing Hui's words. However, a moment later, she said viciously, "With the way these people do things, large clans like ours are like ants that could be crushed at any time in their eyes. Even if I let him go, they will definitely not let the matter rest. In order to regain our lost face, our Sioux clan will not be able to escape the fate of destruction in the end. Therefore, I implore Senior to act." Tsing Hui glanced at Su Shanshan in surprise. He did not think that she would actually have such an opinion. On the other hand, Goyu hurriedly shouted, "No, no. I swear to the heavens that as long as I can safely leave, my Go family will definitely not take revenge on the Su family in the slightest. If I go against this oath, I'm willing to be struck by lightning and die." Su Shanshan glared at Goyu, her eyes filled with resentment. "I don't believe you." When Tsing Hui saw this, he immediately pressed down with his hand. Immediately, a vast force suddenly descended upon Goyu's body, quickly sealing away all the circulating true qi in his body. Even though he had cultivated the unification of spirit and had extremely sharp control over his own true qi, he was still forcefully sealed into a mortal by Tsing Hui at this moment. He's only a mortal now. His life and death are in your hands. No, no. Goyu immediately panicked when he sensed that all his true qi had been sealed away. Seeing that begging for mercy would not save him, he immediately changed his expression and said to Tsing Hui and Su Shanshan savagely, "I'm a member of the Gaochen clan, and my elder brother is the peak genius of the Purple Cloud Palace, Gaochen. He's reached the true energy realm at such a young age, and he's even been favored by several great elders of the Purple Cloud Palace who've reached the Endless Realm and the Golden Core Realm. If you dare touch a single strand of my hair, our Purple Cloud Palace will definitely not let you off. Even if you hide to the ends of the earth, the experts of our Purple Cloud Palace will definitely find you and burn your bones to ashes to avenge me. If you know what's good for you, I advise you to obediently let me go and let me leave. I can promise to let bygones be bygones for the offense you've committed against me today. Otherwise, all of you can just wait to die." Su Shanshan was given a fright by Goyu's sinister and terrifying appearance. However, when she recalled how she had almost been humiliated by Goyu in front of everyone, the hatred in her heart could not help but surge into her brain. She immediately strode forward and charged towards Goyu. Afterwards, she circulated her gang qi and chopped down without any hesitation, chopping off one of Goyu's arms on the spot. "This arm of yours has ruined the chastity of countless innocent girls and even their lives. Today, I'll chop it off and take revenge for all the girls you've ruined." You can't kill me. You can't kill me. If you kill me, all of you will die. At that time, you'll be the greatest sinner of your Sioux clan. You'll cause the deaths of everyone in your Sioux clan." Goyu immediately cried out in agony as his arm was chopped off. He was a completely different person from the carefree young master from before. The young man and woman who had followed Su Shanshan over seemed to want to stop this, afraid that Goyu's revenge would implicate them. However, at this moment, Ling Ling seemed to have thought of something and shook her head at the two of them. "I don't believe that your Go clan can hide the truth from the masses with one hand. I don't believe that there's no justice in this world. I don't believe that no one will uphold justice for us." Su Shanshan roared viciously. She no longer had her previous graceful and arrogant demeanor. She gathered her gang qi and chopped down once again, chopping off Goyu's other arm. My brother, I'll kill you. My brother will definitely kill all of you to avenge me. If you dare to kill me, it won't be long before all of you will be buried with me. Everyone related to you will not be spared. My brother will definitely lead the experts of my Go clan to exterminate all 9 generations of your clan. All of your friends and family will be exterminated. Goyu seemed to know that Su Shanshan would never let him off and immediately began to curse madly. "Is that so? Then I'll wait." Sing Hui laughed faintly. His gaze turned towards Huan Lu at the side and loosened his grip on him. I'll rest here for a day. I'll give you a day to call for reinforcements. If you can't find reinforcements that satisfy me, this young master of the Go clan will probably die here. This is your only chance to save him. Chapter 551. Huan Lu, who received the order, was slightly startled. He immediately turned to Go Yu and said in a resolute tone, "Young master, don't worry. I will return to the palace as fast as I can to get reinforcements to save you." "Then what are you waiting for? Go. Go back as fast as you can. It hurts so much. It hurts so much." Go Yu roared crazily, his face full of malevolence. "Just you wait. Just you wait. When the people of the Go Yu family arrive, you're all dead. All of you will die. Make him shut up." Sing Hui said to Su Shanshan. "Yes, senior." Su Shanshan stepped forward, a trace of madness burning in her eyes. She was naturally very happy to do this kind of thing. "Stop, I'll stop. I won't speak. I won't speak." A wise man knew when to retreat. When he saw Su Shanshan come over, even if the resentment in Go Yu's heart wanted to break through the sky and tear the clouds apart, he didn't dare to show the slightest bit of it. Especially when Su Shanshan stabbed him again, the pain stimulated him again and made him faint. "Arrange a room for me." Sing Hui ignored Go Yu and only said to the shopkeeper. However, a moment later, he seemed to have thought of something and turned to Su Shanshan. "With your Su family's financial resources, buying this restaurant should be a small matter. Use some money to buy the restaurant and send them away." "Yes. Su Rong, give them the money and buy the restaurant. Also, you guys go back first and tell the family not to worry about me," Su Shanshan said to one of the Su family members who was trembling in fear in the corner. "Yes, second sister." Su Rong looked at Sing Hui with fear, then took out some money and handed it to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper thanked her profusely and didn't even bother to pack up his various daily necessities. He quickly ran out with a few servants and disappeared from the street. "Second sister, if you do this, you will kill our Su family. If they really take revenge, our Su family will be finished." A Su family member mustered up his courage and said to Su Shanshan, "If I don't do that, then you tell me what I should do? Just because he's a member of the Go family, do I have to be humiliated and played by him in front of everyone? And all of you are just watching from the side, not daring to move at all?" Su Shanshan's eyes were red as she glared at the Su family member who spoke. Her face was full of anger. Sing Hui glanced at Su Shanshan. At this time, her mental state was obviously not normal, but he was too lazy to correct her. This matter was just a coincidence to him, and helping Su Shanshan was just a convenient thing to do. However, this did not mean that from now on, he would be a good person to Su Shanshan. Not only would he be her spiritual mentor to help her resolve the knot in her heart, but he would also be the bodyguard of the entire Su family to protect them from harm. I'd better inform the patriarch first." The Su family member responded and quickly ran out with the heavily injured Su Yi along with Su Rong and the others. Soon, only Ling Ling and Su Shanshan were left in the room. "Why aren't you leaving? Aren't you also afraid of bringing trouble to your Burning Sky sect? The Purple Firmament Palace is the main sect of your Burning Sky sect, and the Go family is a big family of the Purple Firmament Palace. Aren't you afraid that this matter will bring disaster to your Burning Sky sect?" Su Shanshan stared at Ling Ling and said in a mocking tone. Ling Ling shook her head, and her gaze fell on Sing Hui. After hesitating for a moment, she stepped forward and bowed respectfully. "Excuse me, Senior, are you Elder Dawn Yang?" And Sing Hui's gaze fell on the woman and couldn't help but be a little surprised. There was actually someone on the Fortune mainland who recognized him. But a moment later, Huang Xiaolong thought of something else. He had taken away the Fortune mainland's Fortune Divine Jade, so the entire Fortune mainland would definitely search for him. Therefore, it was reasonable for this Burning Sky sect's disciple to recognize him. Since you're a disciple of the Burning Sky sect, you should have some understanding of the changes in the Burning Sky sect during this period, right? Tell me everything that happened in the past few years after I left the Great Sun Divine Palace. You're really Elder Dongyong? Ling Ling's eyes widened. A moment later, she seemed to realize that she had lost her voice and hurriedly lowered her voice. Elder Dongyong, you should leave quickly. Currently, the 6 Supreme Sects have jointly issued an arrest warrant for you. Once you're recognized, I'm afraid the 6 Supreme Sects experts will rush over and force you to hand over the Fortune Divine Jade you took away. At that time, it doesn't matter. I've been sitting here waiting for them. Since I dared to appear, it proves that I have the courage to face them. But those are the 6 Supreme Sects. Ling Ling's heart trembled slightly. So what if they're the 6 Supreme Sects? Sing Hui said calmly. With his current strength, it was no exaggeration to say that he could sweep across the Fortune mainland. Tell me what happened during this period. Yes, Ling Ling looked at Sing Hui's confident words. Even though she didn't know where his confidence came from, she didn't dare to disobey his orders. After all, he was the only person in the history of their Burning Sky sect who had entered the top 3 of the Fortune Grand Assembly. Ever since Elder and the Fortune Mainland's Fortune Divine Jade mysteriously disappeared, our Fortune Mainland fell into internal strife for a long time. The Purple Firmament Palace, Great Sun Divine Palace, Netherworld Sect, Three Clear Sect, Heavenly Court, and Primordial Sect, these 6 Supreme Sects couldn't come to an agreement, and they immediately attacked each other. Moreover, the scale of this war continued to expand in the following year. It is said that in a short year, more than a dozen Saint Realm Elders and Grand Elders fell. Due to the great losses, the 6 Supreme Sects calmed down a little. Even though an all-out war has yet to break out, the relationship between the 6 Supreme Sects is no longer as calm and friendly as it was in the past. It is not uncommon for disciples to fight each other over a disagreement and even kill each other. Once this kind of thing happens, it is bound to attract the intervention of Saint Realm Elders. Therefore, from time to time, there is still news of true element boundary, transformative boundary, and even unending boundary Grand Elders falling. Ling Ling's eyes revealed a trace of fear as she said this. Have they started fighting? Sing Hui nodded when he heard this. This scene was within his expectations. Our Burning Sky sect has been invaded several times during this period and searched several times. Even though those people know that our Burning Sky sect is just a fish in a pond, there are still many experts who barged into our Burning Sky sect in anger. They even injured our Burning Sky sect's people. Among them, Elder Yuan Xin was seriously injured because he talked back to an unending boundary expert. He died. Sing Hui couldn't help but frown when he heard this. He had guessed that the Burning Sky sect would be affected after he left with the Fortune Divine Jade. However, anyone with a discerning eye could see that he had only joined the Burning Sky sect because of the Purple Firmament Palace. Logically speaking, these people shouldn't pursue the Burning Sky sect responsibility, but who would have thought they still brought so much trouble to the Burning Sky sect? Who did it? It was the 3 Clear Sects Grand Elder, Taoist Divine Breath. The 3 Clear Sect. Sing Hui was the main culprit who had caused the 3 Clear Sect to miss out on the number 1 position. It was reasonable for the 3 Clear Sect to hate all forces related to him. As he thought about this, Sing Hui lightly knocked on the table and said indifferently, "Then, I can give your Burning Sky sect a chance to make up for it. Go to the Burning Sky sect now and ask Sect Master Hartcliffe to bring people to Clear Cloud City to stand with me in the face of the 6 Supreme Sections. If she comes, I can promise your Burning Sky sect a vast future. In the future, it won't be an extravagant hope for your Burning Sky sect to become the ruler of the Fortune Mainland. If she doesn't come, I've already given you a chance. If you don't want to seize it, then don't blame me. You want our Burning Sky sect to come to Clear Cloud City to face the 6 Supreme Sects together with you?" Ling Ling's face turned pale. In front of the 6 Supreme Sects, the Burning Sky sect would definitely be crushed to pieces without any ability to fight back. All right, just pass on the message. The choice is in your hands. Whether the burning sky sect comes or not will depend on sect master Heartcliff's courage. Sing Hui said calmly. Even though Ling Ling felt that Sing Hui's words were ridiculous and would bring disaster to the entire burning sky sect, she naturally couldn't refuse in front of Sing Hui. She could only answer in a trembling voice, "Yes, I will definitely pass on the message. Go. Just like the Purple Firmament Palace's Go family. I will wait for them for a day. If they want to make a decision after a day, it will be too late." Yes. Ling Ling suppressed the slight trembling in her voice and quickly left after acknowledging the order. Not long after Ling Ling left, a group of people walked over from outside the street. The person in the lead was the Palace Master of Clear Cloud City's Purple Firmament Palace, Dao Master Ziyuan. This person could be considered an acquaintance. He was the first person Sing Hui came into contact with in the Fortune mainland. However, when Dao Master Ziyuan saw Sing Hui, his expression changed, and he turned to leave without hesitation. Sing Hui's outstanding battle achievements in the Fortune Mainland Grand Banquet had already been announced to everyone. Even a Transcendent Realm expert might not be able to suppress him. How could a mere blue Netherworld Realm cultivator like Ziyuan be his opponent? However, before he could leave, Sing Hui spoke. "Dao Master Ziyuan, since you're here, why don't you take a seat? Why are you in such a hurry to leave?" "Dongyang, Elder Dongyang." Ziyuan looked at Sing Hui with an awkward expression. His heart was filled with apprehension. "May I know what instructions Elder Dongyang has for me?" Due to the Fortune Divine Jade, Ziyuan wanted to draw a clear line between himself and Sing Hui. He also wanted to spread the news to the Purple Firmament Palace as soon as possible. The sooner the Purple Firmament Palace received the news, the higher the chances of them sending experts to monopolize Sing Hui's Fortune Divine Jade. Qing Su glanced at the Ziyuan Taoist and saw through his true thoughts with a single glance. Originally, he wanted to compensate the Ziyuan Taoist for the trouble he had caused. But now, Sing Hui waved his hand and said, "You may leave." "Yes, Elder Dongyang. If there's anything else, just give the order." After saying that, Ziyuan turned and left in a hurry. He was completely unaware that he had missed a great opportunity. Chapter 552. Senior Su Shanshan looked at Sing Hui from the side and couldn't help but tremble with fear. After the initial shock, she was even more excited. She already understood that this senior Dongyang in front of her was an existence that was far more terrifying than she had imagined. A supreme sect. What kind of majestic existence was that? In the eyes of Su Shanshan and the others, the supreme sect, the Purple Cloud Palace, was like an immortal legend that mortals could only look up to. But now, this senior Dongyang in front of them dared to face a supreme sect alone. Just how shocking was his cultivation? With this kind of cultivation, even if all the powerhouses of the Go clan swarmed him together, they probably wouldn't be his match, let alone a mere Goyu. "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask," Sing Hui said lightly. Su Shanshan immediately agreed, as quiet as a cicada in winter. Not long after Ziyuan Sage left, a group of people hurried over again. The three in the lead had the cultivation of divine qi as one. Seeing these people, Su Shanshan bit her lip and said, "This is our Su clan's first elder, Su Kaiying, Su Zhongyan, and our first guest, Feng Feiyang." "Greetings, Senior, Su Kaiying, Su Zhongyan, Feng Feiyang," and the others entered the restaurant and bowed respectfully to Sing Hui. In the next moment, their gazes had already landed on Goyu, who had both her arms chopped off and was lying unconscious on the ground covered in blood. They were immediately enraged. "You bitch, you actually brought such a huge disaster to our Su family. Your crimes are simply unforgivable. Why aren't you quickly waking up young Master Goyu and apologizing to him? If young Master Goyu isn't satisfied, I'll have your entire family buried with him to appease his anger." Su Shanshan's heart trembled at Su Kaiying's reprimand, but she still forced herself to say, "Great-grandfather, patriarch, do you know what happened just now? This person almost insulted my chastity in front of everyone. If this really happened, how would I have the face to continue living in this world? Bastard, young Master Goyu taking a liking to you is your greatest honor, yet you actually dare to reject him? What are you standing there in a daze for? Save young Master Goyu immediately. Otherwise, our entire Su family will be met with a calamity because of young Master Goyu's rage. Su Shanshan clenched her teeth and said stubbornly, I was ordered by Senior Dongyang to shut him up. I wouldn't have dared to wake him up without Senior Dongyang's order. Su Kaiying was furious. Dongyang might have the ability to withstand the wrath of the Go clan, but what right did the Su clan have to intervene in this feud? He simply didn't know how to spell the word death. What's wrong? From the looks of it, you want to touch the person I'm restraining? Xinghui said calmly. Su Kaiying and Su Zhongyuan looked at each other. In the end, Su Zhongyuan said, Please forgive us, Senior. We definitely have no intention of disobeying Senior's orders. However, Goyu is a genius from the Go clan of the Purple Cloud Palace. Perhaps Senior doesn't need to care about the Go clan with your status, but our Su clan is nothing in front of the Go clan. Once the Go clan is angered, the entire Su clan will face a calamity. I'm afraid that the 362 members of the Su clan won't be spared. Oh, Sing Hui's gaze landed on Su Zhongyuan. You mean that you don't dare to offend the Go clan, so you don't care about my reputation and let the person I'm restraining go? In other words, in your eyes, I'm easier to bully, right? Su Kaiying and Su Zhongyuan were stunned when they heard this. It shouldn't be like this. The reason why they had come here and pretended to reprimand Su Shanshan was actually to force Qing Su to make a statement. Now that they had put on such an act, the senior before them should at least say something righteously. There's no need for your Su family to concern yourself with this matter. Since I was the one who caused it, I'll bear all the consequences for you. Leave the Go family to me. From today onwards, if your Su family runs into any trouble, just use my name. Even the Go family won't dare to say a single word of objection. At that time, they would be able to rely on the reputation of this expert who is absolutely at the Saint Realm to expand the scope of their forces, and they would be able to expand their businesses to numerous towns in the surroundings. Moreover, the forces of the entire Su clan would multiply by a few times because of this. But now, things didn't seem to be going that way. The senior in front of them could stand up for Su Shanshan when she was being humiliated. He shouldn't be such a person. He should be a righteous and upright person. In that moment, Su Zhongyuan hurriedly said, We absolutely don't have any intention of looking down on Senior. It's just that this matter concerns the lives of our Su family's 362 people. There are both young and old in our Su family's 362 people, big and small. If young Master Goyu were to suffer any injuries here, I roughly understand what you mean. After beating around the bush, you still think that I'm easy to bully. So, you're afraid of the Go clan and not me. Xinghui looked at Su Zhongyuan with a smile that didn't look like a smile. Since that's the case, I'll let you be afraid for a while. When he finished speaking, he lifted his finger. Just as Su Zhong, the head of the Su clan, was about to open his eyes wide and beg for mercy, a sword light had already pierced through his forehead. No! Su Kaiying and Feng Feiyang's hearts trembled fiercely. Looking at Su Zhongyuan, who had been pierced through by a sword light, they felt their entire bodies turn cold. Do you understand now? Xinghui said calmly. Yes. We will take our leave now. Su Kaiying said in a trembling voice. Even though he was an expert of the unity of spirit realm, he still felt that the true qi and blood in his body had almost stopped circulating. A piercing chill kept surging from the bottom of his heart, causing his voice to tremble slightly as he spoke. You may leave. As soon as Xinghui said this, Su Kaiying and Feng Feiyang immediately felt as if they had been pardoned. They took Su Zhongyuan's body and quickly left. At this moment, Su Shanshan seemed to have understood something. Her face turned slightly pale. How dare! Just wait, Xinghui said, not taking this small matter to heart. Businessmen pursued profit. An opportunity to multiply the Sioux clan's power by several times was naturally worth it for them to gamble their lives. Since they were willing to gamble their lives, then he would grant them their wish. A day's time passed quickly. Even though the restaurant was in a mess, not a single guard in the city dared to inquire about it. Even when patrolling the streets, all of them stayed far away. They had already received news that the owner of this restaurant was a ferocious bandit. Not to mention ordinary cultivators like them. Even those high and mighty elders of the supreme sex had to treat him with caution. In the face of such a terrifying character, it was better for mortals like them to run as far as they could. They still had the courage to maintain order in the vicinity of Cloud Pass City, which could be said to be extraordinarily courageous. The city lord of Cloud Pass City was skilled in managing his subordinates. After waiting for a while, on the morning of the second day, dozens of sword lights finally broke through the void. They were like meteors from outer space, descending towards Clear Cloud City at an incredible speed. Among the dozens of sword lights, even the weakest one was at the prominent divine stage. Among them, there were more than 20 true energy stage and transformative stage experts. The leader was even a never-ending stage expert. This lineup could not be said to be weak. After the group of people descended, they immediately sealed the surrounding space and set up an inescapable net surrounding the entire Clear Cloud City. After ensuring that Sing Hui couldn't escape, the few people in the lead suddenly descended from the sky. With boundless pressure, they shouted, "Traitor Dong Yang, quickly hand over the Fortune Mainland's most precious treasure, the Fortune Divine Jade. Come out and accept your death." Sing Hui raised his head and looked up. There are quite a number of people. The Purple Cloud Palace's branch palace lord, Xiang Hong, Elder Xiang Ming, Reverend Zaheo, Reverend Violet Shade, Reverend Hunyuan, and Reverend Hellfire were all present. The transformative realm, Reverend Yunpeng, Reverend Kunwu, and Reverend Tianza were present as well. However, the Eternal Realm Great Elder was an unfamiliar face. He was not the so-called ancestor Xiang Jun that Qing Su was familiar with. What's wrong? Doesn't the Purple Firmament Palace's Pillar of Heaven's mountain headquarters look down on the Central Plains cultivators? How come they're willing to send a never-ending Boundary Grand Elder to oversee the headquarters? Sing Hui laughed. Isn't this all your fault? If it weren't for you stealing my Fortune Mainland's most precious treasure, the Fortune Divine Jade, how would my Purple Firmament Palace attract the hostility of the other forces? Now, hand over the Fortune Divine Jade and cripple your own cultivation. Who knows, we might be able to put in a few good words for you in front of the other forces and save your life. Otherwise, next year today will be the anniversary of your death. Before Palace Master Xiang Hong could say anything, the never-ending Boundary Grand Elder had already taken a step forward and barked in a low voice. "State your name," Sing Hui said slowly. Seeing that Sing Hui had spoken to him in such a tone, the never-ending Boundary Grand Elder was enraged. A terrifying aura erupted from his body as he roared, "You're courting death. Elder Hong Wang, be careful. The Fortune Divine Jade is still in his hands. If we kill him now, the whereabouts of the Fortune Divine Jade will remain a mystery forever." Xiang Hong hurried to persuade Elder Hong. Kill him. Killing him would be letting him off too easily. I want to capture him alive and make him suffer a fate worse than death day and night. Elder Hong Guang gritted his teeth. When he thought of how the 5 great sects had oppressed the Purple Cloud Palace over the past few days because Sing Hui was from the Purple Cloud Palace, and how the Grand Elders had suffered, he could not wait to crush Sing Hui's bones and scatter his ashes. At this moment, in the corner of the restaurant, Go Yu, who had fainted from the pain, suddenly woke up. When she saw the familiar figures of the elders in the air, she could not help but become agitated. She shouted loudly, "Palace Lord, save me! Palace Lord, save me!" This madman actually dared to kill an inner disciple of our Purple Cloud Palace. This is a crime that cannot be punished. Quickly kill him and save me. Since he dares to challenge the dignity of our Purple Cloud Palace like this, we will definitely torture him ruthlessly in a moment. We will slaughter his entire family and none of his friends and family will be spared. Only then can we restore the might of our purple cloud palace." Goyu shouted fiercely. She could not understand the situation before her. Elder Hunyuan and the rest were not the only ones who were shocked by this scene. Even Su Shanshan, who was at the side, looked at her as if she was looking at a fool. Under such circumstances, was a mere purple cloud palace's inner court disciple qualified to speak? Fourth update. Chapter 553. Purple Firmament Palace. Sing Hui looked at Elder Hunyuan and said, "Let's not talk about the grudges between me and the Purple Firmament Palace. Now, I can give you a chance. Everyone in the Purple Firmament Palace will submit to me and become the sword that I use to conquer the Fortune Mainland. In the future, the Purple Firmament Palace will be able to enjoy unprecedented prosperity. If you choose to refuse, then I will treat you as an enemy that obstructs me from conquering the Fortune Mainland, an enemy that obstructs a peerless Golden Core realm expert from conquering the Fortune Mainland." Sing Hui did not claim to be an almighty expert. The influence of an almighty expert was too great. While Qing Wei, Dao Master, was trying to find his whereabouts, he did not want to cause too much of a commotion. Therefore, a peerless Golden Core realm expert was enough to suppress an entire mainland. In any case, the strongest experts on the Fortune Mainland were merely a few dozen false core realm cultivators. Although these false core realm cultivators called themselves Golden Core realm cultivators, their battle prowess was still a notch weaker than Golden Core realm cultivators. A peerless Golden Core realm cultivator fighting against 10 or even 20 Golden Core realm cultivators was nothing strange. This kind of strength had already reached the standard of sweeping across the entire Fortune Mainland. Golden Core? When Elder Hunyuan heard Sing Hui's words, he was stunned for a moment. Then he sneered and said, "Cultivating in the Golden Core realm is not that easy. How much energy is needed to condense a Golden Core? I don't believe that you can condense a Golden Core in a short few years. Elder, could it be that this kid sold the Fortune Divine Jade? If he sold the Fortune Divine Jade, then by relying on the vast amount of resources obtained from the sale of the Fortune Divine Jade, he might really be able to cultivate to the true Gold Core stage and step into the Gold Core stage. Once he reaches the Gold Core stage, with his foundation, he would definitely far surpass ordinary Gold Core stage experts. After all, when he was at the prominent divine stage, he already displayed a battle strength that wasn't inferior to an expert at the transformative stage, Xiang Hong said cautiously. He sold the Fortune Jade and used the Fortune Jade to exchange for resources to condense a Golden Core? Xiang Hong's words caused Elder Hunyuan's expression to change. It was really possible. I will know after I try. I'm an Endless Realm expert. Even if he is a true Golden Core realm expert, he won't be able to defeat me in an instant. Get ready. If there is anything wrong, immediately come to my rescue." Yes, Elder Hunyuan was indeed very cautious. He had activated his defensive celestial technique right before he attacked to protect his own life. Seeing this scene, Sing Hui's face had a trace of disappointment. It seems that the Purple Cloud Palace has chosen the latter. I have to say that you have chosen the path of death for the Purple Cloud Palace. Seeking death? Let's not talk about whether or not you've broken through to the Gold Core realm. Even if you've really become a Gold Core realm expert, it's still far from enough to destroy the Purple Cloud Palace. How can you imagine the resources that the Purple Cloud Palace possesses? Even if an almighty sent down a prime combat avatar, we would be able to surround and kill it, let alone you. Today, I'll make you pay for your shameless boasting. Elder Hunyuan let out a low roar. In the next moment, he had already charged forward. Dragon subduing. Clang. Sing Hui responded by unsheathing his sword. There was no need to deliberately activate powerful swordsmanship or use powerful sword force. The moment the deep scarlet sword was unsheathed, heaven and earth were filled with an intense and dazzling sword light. In the endless brilliance and sword intent, a huge phantom of a divine sword appeared out of thin air. It seemed to cut through the void and strike across realms, fiercely clashing with Elder Hunyuan, who was charging down from the void. Before the sword light arrived, the surging heat and terrifying sword intent that could annihilate one's consciousness had already rushed into Elder Hunyuan's mind. It caused Elder Hunyuan's pupils to shrink abruptly. Oh no! In the next moment, Elder Hunyuan, who still had the strength to charge down, hurriedly retreated. He no longer cared about killing Tsing Hui and immediately flew toward the experts from the Purple Cloud Palace. At the same time, his palm that was like the phantom of a divine dragon collided with Tsing Hui's sword light. Roar! In the void, there seemed to be a loud and clear dragon roar. The phantom of a true dragon that was completely condensed from vital energy let out a painful cry. It could not hold on for more than a moment before it was shattered by the sword light. Then, the dazzling sword light continued to charge forward without losing any momentum and wrapped around Elder Hunyuan's body. Oh no! Elder, be careful. This sword chi, is this the legendary attack of a golden elixir realm expert when he unleashes his golden elixir? Stop this sword chi. The many true energy realm and transformative realm elders who had been ordered to guard the formation reacted quickly. The moment the sword light struck Elder Hunyuan, they all attacked at the same time. The powerful attack was like a torrent of energy that carried a vast and terrifying energy fluctuation as it crashed into the sword light that was slashing toward Elder Hunyuan. In an instant, the primordial chi exploded and the sword chi burst forth. 90% of the sword light that was slashing toward Elder Hunyuan was shattered by the combined attack of the many true energy realm and transformative realm experts. Even so, the remaining 10% of the sword chi still carried a terrifying destructive power as it pierced through Elder Hunyuan's body. Dark red blood splattered across the sky. A peerless golden elixir. A peerless golden elixir. This is a true peerless golden elixir. A peerless golden elixir realm expert is not something we can fight against. Go, go. Elder Hunyuan, who was severely injured, could not care less about his aggressive appearance at the beginning. With a shrill scream, he quickly turned into a stream of light and shot toward the horizon. Seeing that Elder Hunyuan had fled, the remaining true energy realm and transformative realm experts were all frightened. Although they had 20 true energy realm and transformative realm experts on their side, and could even kill a golden elixir realm expert, facing a peerless golden elixir realm expert like Tsing Hui, even if they doubled the number of experts on their side, they would still die. Cultivators with a peerless golden elixir realm were often called peerless golden elixir realm experts. In terms of combat power, a peerless golden elixir realm expert was almost equivalent to 10 ordinary golden elixir realm experts. Retreat. Retreat quickly. Ask for help from the Pillar of Heaven's Mountain's headquarters. The Fortune Divine Jade is not my Purple Firmament Palace's only treasure. If we really want to kill this kid and force him to reveal the location of the Fortune Divine Jade, it is the responsibility of everyone on the Fortune mainland. How can only my Purple Firmament Palace take action? So what if he has a peerless golden elixir realm expert? Even a supreme existence's main battle incarnation cannot act presumptuously on our Fortune mainland. The true energy realm, transformative realm, and prominent sage realm experts of the Purple Firmament Palace shouted at the same time and retreated as fast as they could. In the blink of an eye, they had disappeared without a trace. They really came in a hurry and left in a hurry. Tsing Hui did not chase after them. After Hunyuan and the others found out about his cultivation, they would naturally send a message to the other 6 supreme sects to surround and kill him. Once they gathered together, he would capture them all in one fell swoop and completely intimidate the entire Fortune mainland. This was the best and fastest way to solve the problem. It would also save him the trouble of fighting one sect after another. So why not? Looking at the Purple Firmament Palace's elders and grand elders who had completely disappeared in less than a moment, Goyu, who had placed all her hopes on Elder Hunyuan and Palace Master Xianghong, was dumbfounded. Palace Master. Elders. You. It's obvious that Palace Master Xiang Hong and Grand Elder Hong Guang, whom you place your hopes on, were unable to save you. Among those people, there seems to be an ancestor from your Go family, right? Unfortunately, even though they mobilized so many people, they were still easily defeated by me. You want to kill me and my friends, but I'm afraid you won't be able to do it. Sing Hui's gaze fell on the dazed Go Yu and said with a faint smile. Go Yu, who had also realized this, finally understood what fear was. At this time, he also understood that his so-called identity and background, as well as the Go family's many sources of support, were not worth mentioning in front of Sing Hui. The other party had uprooted the Go family with his own strength, and even the entire Purple Firmament Palace couldn't do anything to him. This was an incomparably cruel reality. Say, Senior, please spare my life. Please spare my life. I won't dare to do that again. I won't dare to bully people anymore. Do you want to wait for your Go family to see if your Go family's genius Go Chun will bring more powerful reinforcements for you? Sing Hui said kindly. No need. Go Yu stammered. Go Yu said with a trembling voice. Because of him, he would become the greatest sinner of the Go family, even if he caused the death of a single true element cultivator of the Go family. By then, even if Qing Su spared him, the Go family would never spare him. I thought you'd be able to hold on a little longer. Sing Hui looked at Go Yu with a trace of regret on his face. In your next life, don't be so arrogant before you truly understand the situation you're in. After he finished speaking, he didn't give Go Yu any more time to speak. With a flick of his finger, a ray of sword light shot out and pierced through Go Yu's forehead. Instantly, the terrified expression on Go Yu's face stopped abruptly. Senior, please allow me to follow you and serve you wherever you go. Su Shanshan hurriedly knelt in front of Sing Hui with Go Yu's death and kowtowed respectfully. She vaguely understood that she was now standing at the most critical juncture of her life. Whether she would continue to fade into the crowd or soar into the sky depended on this peerless expert called Dong Yang. However, Sing Hui's gaze lingered on her for a moment, but he didn't respond. Instead, he looked in another direction. There, the Burning Sky sect Master Heartcliff, who was wearing a fiery red dress, was leading Elder Qinshaw, who Sing Hui was familiar with, as well as Ling Shi and the others who had broken through to the true element boundary in a short time. After landing outside the restaurant, everyone respectfully bowed towards Sing Hui. The Burning Sky sect has a total of 33 people at the prominent saint stage and above. We pay our respects to Grand Elder Dong Yang. Sing Hui's gaze fell on the Burning Sky sect Master Heartcliff, who exuded the charm of a mature woman. Beads of sweat trickled down her fair forehead. After a while, Sing Hui retracted his gaze and said slowly, although you chose to appear after the Purple Firmament Palace's people left, since I promised to give you a day's time and you arrived in a day, my promise yesterday is still valid. Tomorrow, we will unify the Fortune mainland. Please support us. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.